Welcome to Yerba Talks.
Welcome to the Aftershow. I am Max. This is Kat. We already have the man, the legend, the one and only Isa. Hello, how you doing?
I'm so happy to be here for this auspicious event, this legendary debate of all the ages.
What a silly topic.
Wow, your face transformed multiple times during that debate.
Oh wow, yes,
The
I
most
noticed.
things you're like, your face literally went like this. Like, did I just hear what I think I heard?
Yes. Like, dude. They have no idea what consistency even is. It's funny.
I want to tell you before we get into a lot of the stuff. I just wanted to.
You got it.
My favorite thing that I heard so much during the debate was, "You have to look at the statistics," and then you're like, "Where are the statistics? Can you tell me?" Just Google it. ChatGPT it. Oh man! I was like, wow. I can insert anything and just say statistics, say it. I mean, that's the level. It's not even like we're gonna hide and put some fraudulent narrative of a scholar now. This is like the base level of using data. We're just like, I'm gonna claim that there's this data that exists, and then say Google it. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, we do have the pull it up emoji for a reason, and we never got the statistics, of course, because he was lying.
But it was like the hubris for that is spectacular. Like, I would feel ashamed if I tried to claim that there's a statistic that I didn't even research. Like, I wouldn't bring up data that I'm not even prepared to talk about. But I mean, how many times, like, women are women want to love to like a young underage man wants to be, accosted by his female older teacher. Isn't that right? Isn't that hot? I was like, this is like creepy, and it sounds like someone's watching a little bit of adult entertainment, a little bit too much, and kind of admitting to watching adult entertainment. Because I'm like, these plots pretty well, man. I just the world.
And then you know that a few minutes later after that, he said, I don't care about the numbers. And it's like, well, make up your mind, my good sir. Yeah, it was bad. Tay said, Max's face a lot of time was how I felt.
I was kind of in shock. Like, it was like a shell shock. Like, the first time I heard some of the things, I was like, did he just say that? And he's like, and then the first time he made that face was like when he said, it's okay to slap a woman. We could just slap her and manhandle her. And you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I think maybe you had too many doobies before you came on here, man. Maybe laced with some kind of, some new K2 type of thing. Like, it was insane. And he was like, big, strong men fondling women is good. Don't you think that's a good thing? Max is a little wimpy boy, but big, strong men who abuse women, good. The woman shouldn't leave. She doesn't have to leave. She needs to be manhandled by the big, strong man. I was like, what kind of crazy fantasies are we engaging with here? Like, I heard that stuff. I'm like, is this like some type of tabloid? Like, am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? Like, it was like, I'm sorry, I know we have to go through all this stuff, but I'm just like, you want to talk about a train wreck? I don't think I've ever seen a debate on the level of this one. This one takes the cake out of all the ones. You want Flat Earth? Sorry, Flat Earth goes down the hole for this. Moon landing, whatever. This one.
I mean, it's funny that Grace said, "Oh, that's a lot of feminist propaganda," and the only thing these people can do is just spout that their propaganda that, oh, women should be in the home, they should stay with their husband no matter what. If they get slapped around, just put some ointment on it and deal with it, and that kind of mentality, that is just sickening to me. Alrighty, welcome, Icy Spin. How are you? I can't hear you for some reason. I think I heard something. That's weird. All right. People, hello everyone there in the chat. Before we dive right in, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and you'll subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. That was a lot of fun. It got kind of lost in the moment, but I said something that I probably shouldn't have. About some rumors about Ben and Grace. I mean, just the fact that the rumor exists is a little bit creepy. But yeah, I shouldn't have gone there. It was just that Ben was just taking ridiculous pot shots at me. Like, Ben, you're not flexing on me any kind of way. Like, seriously. Alrighty. Opening. I'd like to say my opening statement was not prepared. I think this debate is silly, so I didn't give it the preparation that I would give other debates, and I honestly didn't know. Today was Formula One race. We had the sprint race, we had the qualify, and I spent a lot of the afternoon watching that. So, I didn't do as much preparation as I should have, but I honestly didn't consider that preparation was required because this debate is just pure nonsense. Isa, what did you think about our site's openings?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I didn't see preparation, but I think that there's a fair point of engaging that. The point is that what preparation could you do? Because you didn't even know what the argument was. Like, you had some generic thing, and you said that in your opening. I don't even know what I'm battling against. I can only just tell you what I think might be here. And I think, I actually love James. He is a good guy, and it's funny that, he was giving me a hard time today too. But I think one thing that I would encourage for James is I get the point that you want people to come in fresh, but with some of these topics, they're so generic and open-ended that you really don't know what you're actually discussing. So you can't really prepare an adequate debate. So I would encourage James to consider or Dr. James to consider giving a little more preparation and saying, okay, this is the specific thing over, we're focusing on this topic, but here are the three things that we're focusing on. So then both debaters can be focused and own in on that. So I think that was a weakness, but it's not really a weakness on your side's fault. It's just the way that the debate is constructed. You really don't have the toolkit for dealing with that. I'm imagining if I was in that space, I would have tried to make a presentation because I wouldn't be watching Formula One, but I do like racing, but I like racing games. That's more my thing. I like playing racing video games.
We are at the definition of the championship. No,
screw
that.
It's big.
Yeah, we're in very important moments to see who's the actual champion. So yeah, I was.
No, I get you. You're invested in that today. It's it's like the Super Bowl kind of. It's getting towards that.
It's the only thing I'm like that about. So
I get that. And so the thing was that was tonight, but I think both of you no one actually had a presentation at all. So that's you didn't lose. Your side didn't lose because no one had it. So you were all on equal playing ground. But I think that would have been something interesting to see, if there was a focus on one or two particular topics that would allow for this to have an interesting conversation instead of just being this really open-ended situation. Usually what I do in these kind of things when it's really open-ended, I'm like, I have to hyper specify. But I think you did pretty good in your opening where you were like, look, this is what I anticipate will happen. Like a lawyer. Have you ever watched A Few Good Men? If you haven't, you have to see it.
Oh, yes.
It's
Epic movie.
It's Tom Cruise's it's like a creme de la creme. But that's the thing he does. He's like, this is the matter, this is the case, these are the matter of the facts, this is what I see. And then Kevin Bacon does that. He does a preemptive strike where he's like, look, he's gonna do magic show. Tom Cruise is going to do a magic show. He's going to do some trickery. He's going to do some sorcery. But guess what? The facts of the matter of this case are the facts of this case, and they're undisputable. You cannot dispute them. And I'm like, that's what I think. You were just like, look, this is what I see. These are the facts of the case, and this is what my opponent is going to do. And it kind of did look like that. They didn't actually focus too hard on abortion, which I was surprised by. But we'll get into that later. But I was like.
There's one thing that I don't know if you guys noticed. If you look at the title of this stream, probably around there, the original title was "Are Women Today Not Held Accountable?" But right before we started, when we were on the Zoom call, James changed the prompt. So I had to kind of change what I had thought about talking. Like I had to change the framing to the other side because it changed like right before the debate started. And if you look at it, it's framed the other way. Are women today held accountable? And it's a minor nitpick, but it's like, well, I thought that I was going second because of the prompt, because if you put the not there, they have the affirmative, so they should have gone first. So I was going to do the one thing that I genuinely don't really like to do, which is go straight into like a rebuttal. I was going to frame it, but then really kind of bounce off of what they said. And then I was left like, oh, I have to go first. Damn. At least I had some note of what I had from the previous debate, but it was a little bit confusing. I would have been extremely pissed if I had made a presentation and the topic changed like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I totally get that. I think that's a fair argument. And I know we have to talk about their openings and stuff too, but I'm just like, the whole thing. So what was the thing? So accountability that was what I thought the debate was. What did he say the debate was like?
If you look at our title here on StreamYard, it's on the top. The original title is "Are Women Today Not Held Accountable?"
Right.
So that makes it that the positive on that claim was on their side. But then right before we started before he had already hit live and he was playing the pre-roll, and then he changed it and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to change the title to the opposite. So you guys go first." I was like, "Oh, okay." And it's Ashton asked, were there arguments just slut shaming? Yes, that's exactly what it was. It's funny because when I said, "Oh, you're having a very American-centric view of this topic," and of course they didn't want to talk about anything else other than America, because like this argument is not a thing anywhere else in the world. And they conceded, to my count, they conceded the debate 3 times. And being generous.
So should we go into the openings? But yeah, I would agree with you.
Yes, I was kind of making time to try. I don't know what's happening with Icy Spin. He's having some issues apparently connecting. So I'm kind of making time. Dan says, American exceptionalism. We have the best sluts to shame.
Testing. You got me now?
Yes, finally. How are you doing? Yes, Icy Spin, we can hear you.
That was a wild ride. Yeah, thanks for waiting on me.
You got it.
That guy was Yeah, you've obviously had some history with him. He was brand new to me, and
No,
man, he
first
came in.
time
Oh,
I
you didn't?
interact with him.
Oh, okay. You just knew about him like through him
Yes,
debating other people and stuff.
yes.
Issa, have you ever seen that guy or?
I've seen Ben on the debate about Palestine, and I honestly felt that he did a lot better there. Like he took a much more compassionate position for Palestinians, which I was like, yeah, I think that's good. But he did an anti. See, my problem is that a lot of people who take this free Palestine position are not like, hey, we care about Palestinians and Jews and Israelis. It's more like we care about Palestinians and we hate Jews.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah,
don't like this. That kind of free Palestine position is really disgusting and gross, and
Yeah.
it's a veil for anti-Semitism, and that's
yep,
what that critique.
His face lit up when he said that I criticize the Jews. No problem, because I have no problem in criticizing anyone really. And he was
yeah.
like, "Oh, let's do some Jew bashing."
Isn't it so weird that they're like so one-dimensional, dude? Like they like see like a bouncy ball and they're like, "Oh, that's the kind of bouncy ball I like." Like, you're
Yes.
like it's just so weird, man. But yeah, he
Yeah.
was extremely racist, extremely misogynistic. Very, very. It came off very insecure and creepy.
Yes.
And he was. I don't know what his obsession was with making Kat uncomfortable, but I mean, she played it. She played it well, right? She
Yeah.
had a good attitude and she rolled with it and stuff. But like, he was just,
Hmm.
um, yeah, he was saying characteristics that seemed to be one side. They seem to be male issues that he is experiencing, and he wants all the other males to kind of chime in and go to bat for him when he's not getting laid and shit. It sounds like so. I don't know. It was kind
Hmm.
of weird.
It was weird, and I don't know if you guys got. Did you catch Holly completely losing her mind in the side chat?
Oh yeah,
What a treasure! What
he,
a fucking treasure! Holly, fuck you sideways.
she's got a beautiful heart. And what's further than that, her soul is just so full of happiness and love and care for
Oh
everyone
yeah,
that she's ever come across. It's
yes.
just really nice.
She's the best.
Hmm.
All right. So Isa, the Thorpe's opening thoughts.
Um, so it seemed like Ben was going to start kind of with something that, how do I put this? It seemed more kind of coherent and logical. It initially looked like that, and then it kind of unwound the longer it went on. Um, it's unfortunate. Um, but he basically was like, I want to kind of focus on this point. He was kind of very serious, and then it kind of went into like leading into what the debate was about, where it was like, women just kind of get away with murder with everything that they do. And like when it came to me, I was like, this sounds like a bad, like, conservative Christian movie. Like it sounds like the plot of like, or some kind of like B horror movie where it's like these evil women are trying to scam men and put men into hellholes and try to ruin men's lives. And I'm like, and it's like it's this like fictitious narrative that's being produced, and it's
And
like
women are evil and conniving. Like,
conniving.
oh man, for fuck's sake.
And it's the same way that we get views of Muslims and Jews, like where you see the movies like evil Muslim terrorists want to blow things up, instead of
Yeah.
Muslims just being viewed as like regular normal people living their life, or Jews living their life as normal people. He kind of made this sort of distorted image of the conniving woman. Like it didn't fully unravel like we saw in the rest of the debate. It kind of, but the entrances of that position started to open up there, and I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit. With Grace, you know what it's like? It's like Cliff and Stuart connectively,
Yeah,
right?
I remember them.
Yeah. So Cliff is more, I don't want to say unhinged, but he's more like just says whatever he feels, and Stuart is more like measured in his approach. So he
Mm-hmm.
comes off as like the kind of normal guy, and Cliff kind of comes off as sort of the wild man up in the hill. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
felt that was the same way here too, with the child and parent. The parent is sort of the kind of wild man lumberjack up in the hill, right? And then
Yeah.
the child is more
Closer to the extreme, right? Like a little bit wacky. I think I understand what you're saying. They're not as like thoughtful about like that there is a middle on some of these issues. They're very like this is how it has to be, and I don't know if that's what you were going for, but
kind of in a sense. It's like, yeah, they're not calculating their response. They're not measuring it. They're not trying to appeal to the audience. They're just like, I'm just going to say whatever the heck I feel. I'm like, I'm not even good. There's no filter. I'm not going to try to come to this a place and try to like measure it and try to like understand. I'm like, this is what I feel. And I'm just going to say whatever comes out. And that's kind of what I feel like, that it's this sort of unfiltered approach. But then the child is very much more like, I'm going to be very measured. I'm going to be very tactful. I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to be filtered. And both Stuart and Grace do this. So Grace kind of comes in and she's very kind of calculated and measured in her approach. And she's like, let me give you 2 anecdotes. This girl did this horrible, evil, atrocious thing. This girl was on a college campus. And let me tell you an Are You Afraid of the Dark goosebump story.
right.
Let me tell you a haunted tale of the ages. This girl was having sex with either a partner or a boyfriend. We have no idea who it is, but let's say what happened is the story is that the girl was dragged into the hall and then sexually assaulted and, what do they call it? Whatever that word is, like violated. She was violated. And then she won $750,000 for this. We don't have any resources. We can't look it up. It would be nice to do a fact check, but we
I'm
get
sure
this.
it's happened in the world, right? Like maybe in the world it's happened, but
Yeah, but again, you can also find a case of someone who got away with murder,
yeah,
and it's like, oh, does that invalidate that we don't hold
it's the
people
same thing.
accountable for murder? No,
Yeah.
it's
So
a stupid argument, and took me like 2 sentences to just invalidate her whole opening, which was kind of funny.
so what happened? This is what's interesting. What happened is she's like, I want to tell you this horror story. So the man comes in and does this nasty thing to her. She gets $750,000. The other guy goes to jail. He loses his a football scholarship. Everything goes to crap. And, then it's revealed that it was all a lie. And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? This is women not taking accountability. And I was like, when I heard that statement, I was like, no, if the story is true, let's grant that the story is true and all the facts that were portrayed were true. We're going to steel man and just say all of it's true.
Yeah.
Hashtag we really don't know if it is true, but we're going to say that it is true. If the story is true, okay, it's not about the person being a woman. It's about a person being a deceitful, evil person that felt bad about what she did and ruined someone's life.
Give me 1 second, because we have this moron. Like, you guys are such betas, motherfucker. Click the link right there. Click the link right there and come tell it to my face. And we have another of the idiots. This guy is also a flirt. No men on screen, just panels of edge. Click the link, fuckface. Click the fucking link. Come tell it to my
Aw.
face. See if you there, you moron. You are a
you're
flat
so-
earther idiot.
You're so
Sorry,
sad.
Isa. Thank you.
It's fine. I don't mind. Very interesting. We love Rage Watchers. Please keep watching. We want them back. And you know what else you could do? You could send some money to the channel too. Support my brother Max in Uruguay. You can send a super chat. We'll read it on screen. We'll read your whatever wild things you have to say. We love it. We love the attention. Thank you for coming. But
Yeah.
the thing is, she told the story. It's like, here's this horror story, and then she told this. What was the other story about? Do you remember? What was it? I'm trying to remember exactly.
She said an anecdote And how 1/3 of her generation has just died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
that
wanted
Oh
was
to
yeah,
hear.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. That was the thing I wanted to talk about too, because I was like, I didn't write the notes, so I didn't remember. But that's it. That was the thing I wanted to talk about. We said 1/3 of the population. So abortion did pop up. That's how it was used. 1/3. You have to watch this movie called Cobra. It's like from the 80s, and it sounds just like that. Like it's the Sylvester Stallone, like super conservative movie where Sylvester Stallone is like, I gotta kill the bad guys. Oh, the bad guys, we gotta kill all of them. You know, they're raping everyone out there. There's 25 rapes every 1 second. Like that's what it says. It's literally these crazy statistics that none of them are true, but in that world they were so-called true. But it's the same kind of crazy fanatical nonsense. But that she said 1/3 of my generation. I'm like, do we have data for this? And first and foremost, you would have to prove that an abortion is murder. You can't prove that case. That's just a subjective feeling that you think. You feel that an abortion is murder. And if you want to make that case, well, you're tied to the Hebrew scriptures, and the Hebrew scriptures state that God performs abortions. So the Midianite women who slept with the Israelite men, he pulls the fetuses out of their bodies. So I'm like, if you take that particular position, my friend, you're in trouble. You know,
I wanted to go. I was
Also,
expecting that to come up, but it didn't. And the conception of life of the Jews is when you take your first breath. So until then, it's all good.
but also you have the bitter waters.
Yeah, the bitter waters. That's what Isa was
it's
The
talking
called,
is it?
there's two cases. That's one. In the other case, it's called sota. Sota is it's the trial of sota. So sota is what you're calling the bitter water. That's what it's called in Hebrew. And basically, it's a chemically induced abortion, but it's a
Right.
special magical induced abortion where
Mhm.
basically, if it's actually much better than any of the chemically induced.
Oh
abortions
yeah,
now.
it's the best.
So, because this type of one, it checks if someone committed adultery or not.
Right.
It has special pre-designed
It
mechanisms.
reads their soul. Yeah.
So it goes and it says, you know what? Yeah, it's like that. It's like this. It's a special material that goes and says you committed infidelity. Now your child will be aborted. You know.
Right.
So
It's
like
fantastic. It would sell on late night television.
How
Like hotcakes.
and of course this is always like if men. I always say if men were the ones who get pregnant, you would be able to get abortions at the gas station.
Yep.
It wouldn't
And
be like they would do them in the street. Oh,
what? Not to get too off topic, but I've actually posed the bitter waters to a few people that I know, and I've never. And I'd say I've only done it a few times. Is there like what's the standard like response that like no, that's out of context, or like what do they say? Because it's in red letters, right? Like it's being commanded. I don't see how they can say that both positions, you know, abortion is bad, but also abortion is necessary.
well, abortion's not in the New Testament at all. This is
no,
like
it's not,
this-
not
Oh,
even
so
mentioned.
they just say it's Old Testament, therefore
Yeah,
it's
that's like
been
that's
been
the Old
fulfilled or
Testament.
whatever.
yeah. So you're correct about the point. Like the point is the New Testament, but abortion is not an issue of the New Testament. So it's really something from the kind of evangelical Americana position, and that's okay if they want to take that, but they can't say this is connected to the New Testament. It has nothing to do with the New Testament. Theologically speaking, it's their own culture, and I'm like, I hate that's the dishonesty I hate. I'm like, you have your own culture, own that it's your culture. Don't try to tether it to this other teaching of like mystical Jews from the first century. Like it doesn't work.
And I've also
All
heard
right.
that the Old Testament. Uh, I've heard both sides. I've heard both people say, or two different people say that you don't have to abide by all the commandments in the Old Testament, and I've heard people just with as much as conviction argue against it, and it's just hard to tell
Well,
what the actual position is. I think you
I
would say
mean,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
there. Paul says that you should not hold to the command to the old law, but in the Old Testament, God says over and over and over and over and over one more time that you're meant to keep the law forever. So you have a decision to make. Do you listen to Yahweh or do you listen to Paul?
Yeah.
You make your choice. Let me welcome and hear the Big Nick. Hello.
Greetings.
Would you like to give us some thoughts on the openings for the debate?
No, man. I need to help you with your voice. Are you a voice actor?
No.
You should be. You got to monetize that.
I monetize this.
Yeah, but I mean,
is that all?
Is what all? You invited me on stream.
Yeah, I invited you to do the after show thing. My voice is what it is. So
you can change it. You can work on that.
No.
You can do it.
I don't give a fuck.
I believe in you.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, Neckbeard.
Do you write your own material?
Okay, anything else?
Christ is king and atheists are stupid.
No, he wasn't. He didn't govern a single day in his fucking life. He
That's not what it
died
is.
and they got buried in a common pit with all the other criminals that died that day and became worm food.
No, he rose from the dead.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Prove it. You can't. Thank you.
You can't prove he died and never came back.
Yeah, that's what everyone does.
Well, there's plenty of evidence to support the fact that he came back.
No, there's not. There's only the Bible, and the Bible contradicts itself.
There's only the Bible. There's only the Bible. Their churches don't exist.
Okay, I know that you're desperate because you're literally getting like railroaded right now.
Deplane, boss. Deplane.
You have no evidence. The Bible contradicts itself.
The Bible is evidence. The Gospels.
That's not very Christ-like of him, is it?
The Gospels don't contradict themselves.
Yeah, the Gospels all contradict each other.
No, there's no significant.
How many people went to the? How many people went to the tomb?
What changes? What changes?
How many? No.
What changes?
How many people went to the tomb?
That's not a significant contradiction. What's the most significant contradiction?
Okay. So when you have one story says one thing and you have a story saying another thing, that is a contradiction, buddy.
Yeah, it's not significant.
It is significant.
No, what changes as a matter of there being one person or 1,000 people? What changes?
The fact that you cannot know which one is true, you moron.
How is that significant?
Well, isn't the
Bible?
Bible?
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean? How is that significant? You don't even know who claimed to see Jesus after he resurrected.
Oh no! Was it 500 people or was it 512?
I know. Answer the question, you fuckface.
What is it? What changes?
What do you mean? What changes? You do not know what the truth is because all of the stories are different.
So that's your most significant contradiction is that there were different people reported to go to the grave.
Yes.
That doesn't change anything.
That's one.
What's the most significant one?
I mean, what were Jesus's last words in the cross?
That depends on which translation you read.
No, that depends on which gospel you read, because the last words change from gospel to gospel. So you have the telestai, it is done. You have also Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. My God, why have you forsaken me?
Yeah, and from the Aramaic, it says, "For this I was saved."
You
have the translations make a difference.
You have 5 different versions of Jesus's last words. So apparently it wasn't like the movies. He died, woke up, said a thing, died, woke up, said another thing, died, woke up, said another thing. So unless you can come with any kind of evidence outside of the Bible that would confirm the resurrection, you have nothing.
So you're going to ignore the evidence and say you need other evidence.
It's not no. Do you know how corroborating evidence works? Clearly not.
Yes. So 15,000 manuscripts isn't enough corroborating evidence.
Yeah, they all have differences.
So what? That's just a testimony that there were multiple people.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the after show. If you want to set up a debate, I'll crush you any other time.
Yeah, you'll crush me with your big man voice and your neck beard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Deplane, boss, deplane.
And you're making yourself look like a complete idiot. I love it.
Yeah, I'm the one making myself look like an idiot.
Yes. Yes, you are getting destroyed and all you can do is like cope. It's like, you have a voice, you have a beard, you're
How
bald.
have I been destroyed? All you said was there was contradictions, and none of them are significant.
They are significant. Even
They
one
aren't.
contradiction in the
Nothing
you believe
changes.
that the Bible is the word of
as a result.
Dummy, shut the fuck up. You believe that the Bible is the word of God, correct?
The Bible was written by men.
Do you believe that the Bible is the inspired word of God, correct?
It's inspired by God, yeah.
Okay, so how come it has mistakes, like factually incorrect information?
Like what?
Oh boy. Like the value of pi being 3, like the fact that 50% of women do not bleed on their way.
That's in the Gospels, huh?
That 50% of women do not bleed in
Where is that in the Gospels?
In their wedding night. The Bible is the whole thing. For example, Jesus cursing a fig tree outside of the time where it should be bearing fruit. Then we have all the contradictions about the eyewitnesses. Then we also have the flat out lies about who was the high priest.
What contradictions? What's the most significant contradiction?
They're all contradictions, and they all show that this is just a book that some people wrote and it has nothing to do with God.
What's the most significant one?
I just gave you a list of those. I don't care.
None of them are significant.
They're all significant.
Nothing changes as a result of you. If you buy one version instead of the other, nothing changes.
You are just coping.
What about Genesis 1 and 2?
I'm a Christian. I look at the New Testament. I look at the Gospels.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If the Old Testament was infallible, we wouldn't have needed the New Testament.
What?
If the Old Testament was infallible, we wouldn't have needed the New Testament.
How does that make any kind of sense? So you're saying that the word of God is fallible now? Oh boy.
Valuable? No, fallible.
Open your ears, fuckface. You're saying that the word of is the Old Testament the word of God?
I'm a Christian. I read the Gospels and the epistles.
Is the Old Testament the word of God?
It was written by men, and men.
Is the Old Testament the word of God? Answer the question.
It was written by men.
Answer the fucking question. Is the Old Testament the word of God? Yes or no?
God doesn't make mistakes. Men make mistakes.
Okay, fuck you. Yeah, I'm not. I'm a Christian. Oh my. Hold on. One of our informants is. Let's go back to the actual thing. Boom, 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 boom. One of our informants got. You're gonna die. Oh, Atheist Big Bad says the dumbass who couldn't answer a fucking question. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Open discussion. Ben got triggered super fast when I giggled at Catholics and SA, and Grace had to go like, teachers! And out of all of the time, I've heard conservatives say the teacher thing in response to the other thing. I have never seen anyone actually pull that up. I will get, hopefully, that I will get that thing someday, hopefully. But and then like he got so triggered after that he just couldn't stop. I actually said it. Fortunately, I said kind of the thing that there's a rumor that Ben and Grace, yes.
It kind of got missed. I think it kind of got missed. And
it kind of got shuffled in the middle of like a yelling, which is great because I didn't want to go there. That's why I told him, like, dude, I will destroy you. But yeah.
And he was gone.
And
yeah, that was when the fireworks started, huh? He did not like that one bit, but I found it fascinating how quickly he turned his head on every single good thing that he could have ever learned, and like called you gas station this, and like he just went straight to racism. And I think he even said something to the effect of like implying like younger people activities and stuff like that. Like he was not holding back, and he just Did you like?
No.
Is that what you
No.
gathered?
Yeah. He said that when a female teacher, like, it's hot that a female teacher
Right.
goes like trolling for their underage students, like,
Yeah.
and he said it both ways, like male teacher, female student, female, like that guy is a fucking creep.
Yeah. I
Seriously.
think he was. I think he
And
was pulling
nothing.
everything out of the porn arsenal that he like.
Yeah.
He was just like throwing it at a wall.
This is what our informant just said, that this is the doofus that was just on screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, that guy.
You have
Interesting.
nothing to talk about appearances, pal. You look like a fucking hobo. Sorry.
Yeah. Again, I think it was just odd. His entire approach was to try and look good, but he failed miserably. He tried to like be so manly and like assertive, right? I think the entire theme was like he had to do 80% of the talking because that's what he's supposed to do, right? And like you sit there and be quiet, Grace. And even he corrected Kat a few times, was like, I'm gonna hold you accountable. This is what this is a debate's all about. Like just being snarky, but like just failing miserably to have anything land. She was fantastic too, the way she just would not let his points stick because they were just incredibly stupid.
Yeah, and I caught him lying a couple of times about like what I said, what Kat said.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read this and I'll hand it over to Isa. Max for $5 Singaporean dollars says the plane now shush and keep choking on the balls, Big Nick. Okay, I'm done. I love it, like when they cannot answer like a simple question and you repeat it like over and over and over. I'm kind of getting to a point that I will ask the same question 5 times. If you don't answer a simple question, which is a yes or no, then like, yeah, you're out. Isa, some thoughts on the open discussion portion of the debate?
I think you knew his trigger and you triggered it. I think you were aware that the Catholic button was an intense one.
Not really, no. I was actually surprised, because he said like, you're big and bigoted, and I would never, like, I know that they have a persecution complex, but I would never have thought that he would go down that route. Especially with his whole, like, oh, I'm such a manly man. And he was like, right, you're discriminating my religion because my priest raped children. No,
that's not what I meant. What I mean is that you knew that this is like, I don't think you knew that you would get that reaction, but you knew that you're like, okay, this is like a soft spot for him. And it worked, but it worked into like, it wasn't like, hey, let me have some accountability and think about my position on this. It was more like, oh my gosh, you're the greatest evil villain and you're a bigot and you're so bad for critiquing my narrative and my story. And then what was funny, it was massive hypocrisy oozed out, where it was like, he's saying, I don't believe in bigotry. And then he just started saying the most bigoted things, particularly towards Jews. Jews became the target of vile. He was like, let me tell you about Catholic priests that, you want to talk about Catholic priests? Why don't you talk about Jews? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not even close. The abuses that the Catholic Church did in the United States is nowhere close to any abuses on any level of what Jewish clergy folk have done at all. There is some complex things like Mitzitza B'Peah. There is complex things that exist within the Jewish community. But to say that there's even, first of all, the Catholic population is far greater than the Jewish population. So even by numbers of people, this is just an invalid argument. It was so bad, this scandal, when it came out. I remember it came out in like the 90s, right? Where the people were doing the news reporting. They're like, what? This is actually happening, where priests are being moved from parish to another parish after assaults are happening. And I'm like, you should just have self-accountability. Like, yep, my culture, my community and my culture did things that weren't good. And that would give you integrity. You would be seen as having a person of integrity. You're like, yeah, my community does the wrong things.
When you don't avoid the things that your community has done, then I will not hold it against you. If you do the mea culpa and you say,
Exactly.
like, yeah, I don't agree, and the church needs to hold itself accountable for some of the stuff that they've done with the shuffling of the priests to protect them. Then I would have dropped it like that. But he was like, oh no, the schools is okay. Pull it up, and I asked for evidence like 3 times. I never got it, which is
No,
kind of
we
telling.
just saw the thing of we just heard the same word over and over again, which is Google, ChatGPT. You know, like when you bring up statistics, there's things called like ANOVA or analysis of variance. There's all kinds of statistical methodological approaches that one may use. And statistics aren't just things that you see, like you look up a paper and that's statistics. There's a whole process of how you find out if things have variance, if things correlate. You have to do all of this work. It's not easy. Research is hard. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done a lot of statistics. It's not fun stuff. And it's not something you can play with. It's not something you Google and you understand it. That's why you have statisticians that do a lot of this work. It's hard work. And you're playing with this stuff like it's just some easy thing that you can just throw out. You have to honor the science. You have to honor the art. And that's one thing I find really disgusting on modern day debates that I see is people are abusing, the science. They're abusing the art. They're abusing academia and trying to say whatever they want about academia, cherry picking the academic articles, not understanding what they're actually saying, and then manipulating them to fit their arguments. It's kind of gross. But in this case, it was the worst of the worst because there was no article. It was just claims. It was baseless claims with no evidence. It was just like, hey, women, women are doing these bad things more than men. Okay, where's the evidence? Look it up. It's there. Everybody knows it. And the thing that I kept hearing was like, Kat, don't you know this? Don't you know big, strong men? I was like, this is like high levels of creep. I started to feel really creeped out when I heard that. And
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
and just the insults about you and your intimate relationships with people, I'm like, brother, I don't think you should be accusing him about the problems of the intimate relationships. What I'm hearing is a lot of insecurity on your behalf, man. It doesn't sound like Max has the problem. It sounds like you have the problem. Because I'm like, even the way he talked about women, and then at one point later in the conversation, he's like, "Are you married?" Kat asked, "Are you married?" He's like, "Technically, I am." And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. That was what I was going to ask if it got to that point. What was he talking about?
Technically, I am.
Well, I mean, I get people could say that, like if they're in a like they've been with someone for 20 years or something, and they just don't do it because or whatever reason.
No,
but like I don't
like you have to be married.
What's that now? Oh, right. So that's why it was odd because he is taking the super biblical position, right? And he also said he went to prison, like he volunteered all of this stuff, and that he tried to show his dick to the guard, and she thought it was funny.
Oh, that was one of the most creepiest things that I heard, where he kept saying, I want women to look at me. Men don't want to be looked at women. I'm like, how do you know that? It's different for each individual. What you're doing is conflation, and it's disgusting and gross. Each man and women are different. We're not all the same being. It's such a weird hyper. It's a weird thing that I see that certain people do. It's like hyper. What's the word I'm looking for? Generalization. You're just generalizing groups and saying, well, everybody's like this. And I'm like, like when you do academia, that's like the big no-no. I'm like, brother, you have a master's degree. And one of the craziest things this guy said was he said, I went to jail for a little bit. I'm like, maybe you should say that for the therapist. You don't need to put all your life on the line on this debate. It's not making you look good. It's making you, everything you're saying is making what you're saying less credible. That was what I was like, dude, it's a tornado of disaster. I'm like, every statement you're saying is making you seem less credible. Every time you attack Max about his sexual life, and then Max is just like, okay, man, I don't care. And then he's like, and then he's like, your voice. I'm like, you have an accent too. You have an American accent. You have a North American accent. It's like, it's such a weird thing when people say, people are like, some people have an accent and some people don't know. I'm like, we all have accents. Everybody has an
Yes.
accent. When we're speaking,
Everyone.
we all have an accent. And I'm
And
like,
especially when you are speaking another language. Everyone, because you speak the other language with the grammatical sounds of your native language. So there's always a little bit of a difference, except for the people who are born to bilingual parents in, like, for example, a Mexican family moves to the US, they have a kid. That kid will sound like a Mexican person when they speak Spanish, and like an American when they speak English. But it's something like I started learning English at 7, and by that time, your accent is pretty much locked in. There's no much, like, you can't really change it.
I totally hear that. I just thought it was creep master creep. Like the
Yeah.
whole thing was super creepy. Like everything he said, I was like, dude, this sounds like someone that really needs help. Like it's like a lot of cries for help, and then every time he just kept pulling out the cigarette, like he couldn't control himself. Like I mean, how many cigarettes were smoked? I don't know.
I should have done a counter. I forgot.
I was like, dude, I think we need some self-control here. I'm like, everything. I'm like, is this an oral fixation? I don't know. Like, it was very bizarre. And I'm like, and just, he got so triggered about Christianity. I'm like, you need accountability, dude. Like, this is a problem. And like, when the other gentleman came up and he's like, Christ is king. He was saying all the kind of bigoted stuff. And he's like, Christ is king. I'm like, dude, are you trying to be the representative of Christ? You're a very bad representative of Christ, man. If you think Christ is this great, amazing, wonderful person, you're making him look bad. Probably better not to be the representative and ambassador. You know what I mean? You don't look good. Don't try to represent Christ because you don't look good doing it, you know? And it's so weird. You have these very subpar people who are saying, I am this great ambassador. I'm like, not quite. And it just, everything was so creepy. Like the level of creep factor in the conversation, particularly to Kat, I was like, this is like inappropriate. And like all the digs of Max trying to emasculate Max did an amazing job deflecting all of it. He was like, I don't really care what you're saying. It does not matter to me what you're saying. Can we just get on with the conversation and be grown-ups here? You know, yes, your religion was critiqued. I don't believe in your religion. I might have some people in my family from your, and you know what? That actually gives you a strength, Max. You come from a culture where you know about this tradition. You have family who's connected to this tradition. So telling, you know, you have a right to critique the tradition even more than other people do because you have a close proximity to the tradition. So him saying, oh, you don't have a right. I'm like, he has a close proximity. His own family is connected to this. His culture is connected to it to a degree. And I'm like, it's so bizarre that he was like, you know, you cannot critique that. Let's attack Jews. Let's attack Jews. Let's attack Jews. Jews are so bad. And I'm like, what did a Jew do to you, man? Your king, God is a Jew, man. Leave the Jews alone. Put Jews out of this conversation. They didn't ask to be in the conversation, so let them out of it, you know? But the conversation was just, it was devastating. I mean, y'all won real hard. First of all, your composure was great. And you just were able, and I love like right in the beginning where you're like, just your face was amazing. That was the but like when she was like, you know, all the creepy things that are going on, and you were like, excuse you, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Not one thing you said was correct, and then they really didn't have any counter for it. They were just like,
all they had was insults. They pulled him out so early. Like as soon as you touch that button, he did not leave the insult factory. Like he just stayed there the whole time. And that's when you lose the debate. When you start doing insults, you know that you won.
And like, I went down there, I played a little bit, threw some jabs, and then I went back to like the debate. The problem is that Ben flipped the switch and stayed in triggered mode the whole thing. Which is kind of funny. And again, this whole pestering of like, oh, look at me, I'm such a big man. Look at me, I'm Ben, I'm a fucking giant. I could literally squeeze you. It's like, okay, sure, you could squeeze me into a fucking tin can. It still doesn't make you right, though.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you can brute force myself, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not that big.
He went for the combo punch. He went for every every chance to make Max seem like the least manly, least American, which you aren't, but like least version of what he calls like an ideal man. And on the same token, put himself in such a grandiose light and try to get the ladies in the room on his side. And obviously his daughter's gonna laugh at his stupid ass jokes. But Kat was just like, what in the fuck are you talking about? Like, even he was talking about like girls growing up playing with doll houses and wanting to be a mom and doing this and doing that. There's so many different things that in environments that people grow up in, hobbies that they pick up in different environments in different parts of the world. That's just not how it is. Like, it's just not that way everywhere. And in fact, I think that's probably like the minority. It's just talked about so much.
Max can
Religious
probably
circles.
back me on this. I don't know how it is in Argentina, but it's probably the same way. When I was a kid, the girls in my block, they played soccer with us. They played football with us, and we all played together. They didn't play dolls. They rode bikes,
Yeah.
and they played football and yada yada.
We used to rollerblade and do bicycles and play street hockey, like all the things, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's been changing. Like I have one of my nieces loves cars, and she has like a little mini collection of cars, and I think that's great. And she doesn't like dolls. She doesn't like teddy bears and that kind of stuff, right? And
Yep.
I think it's perfect. It's like, okay,
Fantastic. There's just so many different types of people in the world. And it's unfortunate that he only thinks that there's one type of woman and one type of man, and all the men should behave like him and listen to him when he speaks. And they're the best for whatever the fuck he said, teenagers.
Yeah.
Men are like the best people to be in the home as opposed to a woman. And it's like, that's totally unjustified. I mean, like, there's different things that different parents offer. It's different. Every situation is different, right? In a multi-parent household, they could both be working, which is probably primarily what happens nowadays. But both parents offer different things, and I think the goal is to provide the best household possible. But at the same token, you shouldn't be miserable, right? Like, you have to take care of yourself too. And sometimes, yes, it's terrible when a kid has to experience divorce, separation, but also on the same token, they're experiencing all of the negatives that come with people that are constantly fighting, that are constantly acting out, and the child is going to pick up on that behavior as well. And sometimes people just make mistakes and they grow apart and they're not meant to be together. And that was, I think, they failed to show how that's not the case. Like, just because he couldn't stop with the insults, and she just didn't want to open her mouth, right? So
Tay says, I loved collecting cars as a kid. I have a few dolls, but wasn't super interested in them. And I read your message, Tay, that when you were a kid, you wanted to be a veterinarian. And that is fantastic. NetTube user says, believers often deny themselves things like sex, which is their choice, but it becomes a problem when they try to impose those restrictions on others to feel less alone or to control what they fear. Yes, this idea that it's so shameful, and it's just sexual repression, and that just doesn't happen where I'm from. It just doesn't. And if you go to Europe, it doesn't happen either. Like the European ladies, they will pick you up.
And the horniness thing, man, that was so weird. He could not get away from that, and I think that's one of his insecurities, to be honest,
Yes.
because he wanted to press that point so hard, and his point just missed over and over, and he wanted someone to agree with him. And it's like, bro, if you guys are having a difference in libido, then there's other things at play here. It's either something that you're not doing, or you guys are just not, she's just not feeling you, or you guys are just missing altogether, right? Like, it's just not working like at all, and you're trying to force it. And maybe he's
Mhm.
had that. Maybe he's had that happen more than once, and so he's assuming that that's how it's the normal behavior is. But like that was what I thought his. It was so hard. I was so weird that he hinged on that point so heavily. I thought.
Yeah, I mean that is just a nonsensical talking point. Like that, oh, women don't have as much sex drive. It's like, let me take you out for a weekend and I'll show you how wrong you fucking are.
Yeah.
Let's do a weekend of partying and debauchery, and I'll show you how much.
Yeah.
Because like it's just it's a very conservative centric view and also a very American centric view of the world, which I understand that we are dealing with like an American channel and American people, but I mean you're not the navel of the universe. I'm sorry. You're just not.
Yeah. It was more of him airing out his dirty laundry, I think, accidentally. Like he was just constantly showing everyone that number one. I mean, it was just so stupid. I mean, it was just not a good debate at all from them. All he wanted to do was pump himself up, and yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. But they failed to really even offer much more than this is the standard approach that we believe, and
It's
we have nothing else. Like,
yeah, because it's a nonsensical talking point. And
yeah,
when she conceded, like they like, oh, women, we have some for different situations, we have different standards. It's like, yeah, well, no, duh, because the world isn't a one size fits all. It's just not. But women are held accountable, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I actually had something I wanted to say.
You got it.
I agree with the point that you said that they conceded the debate, because the point was, are women held accountable? Even if they're held accountable a little bit and not as much as men, they're still held accountable. So doesn't matter. You're giving that up. So you shouldn't have come. You should have made a better argument, better point. But the thing is, it's so weird. I'm like, I found it weird that Grace was debating this. I'm like, this is like, it's like, I don't know. It feels like you're a Stepford wife in a sense. You know what I mean? It's like you're shooting yourself in your own foot, and saying, hey, I want to kind of turn on my own women. It was a very bizarre situation for me when I heard that. And I'm like, this is, do you not think, like, imagine if you were put in these shoes and you're like, well, something bad happened to me. I want to be I want people to hear that I was abused, right? Because like when you bring up that case about the man who didn't abuse the woman and she lied, what about all the cases where men do abuse women? What
Yeah.
happens in those cases? Like, you're giving this one case. What about the Bill Cosby? What about P. Diddy? What about
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly? All of these characters have done horrible, evil things to women. Are they, like, are you saying that, are those women being held accountable for that? I mean, it's just, it's so crazy. It's like, yes, and I think we didn't mention this. Kat adeptly dealt with that. Kat was like, I hear your point. It's not false. The problem is it's not about women. It's about bad people that do bad things.
Yep.
That's it.
And it was weird.
And
His behavior.
when we're talking
Go
about the legal system, have people got away with murder? Yes. Have people got away with freaking awful crimes because of the high standards that we have to convict someone of certain things? Sure. But I would say that with all the advances that we have in technology for detecting crime and for convicting and DNA and so on, like it's getting harder and harder to actually get one past the system. But I don't know what it is that they want. I mean, I kind of do know what they want. They want women to. This comes from a place of men that want women to not have a choice. That they want women that work at home, and that they are basically trapped into not being able to leave. So that's why they hate no fault divorce so much. But if the relationship is over, yeah, it's over. If one day you wake up and, oh, I don't love this person anymore, that is a perfectly valid reason to leave. And
You
they do not like that one bit.
you think that what I've always thought is that it comes from a place of selfishness from the men who take this position. Like they want to like not have to like, do the entire like thing again, right? Instead of I think maybe even more so than they want what's best for the children. I think that it might be more of a like, oh, I trapped you, and so I don't have to spend as much time like making this relationship work as I should have otherwise because you're gonna follow what I say now, and like so this is like my safety, like a safety barrier to like keep you here and like keep you in the household doing things to to help. Like, do you get that impression?
Yes. Yeah. It's about they don't want they have a very different view than I have of a relationship. I see a relationship as a partnership. It's us lifting each other up, but no, what they want is to be able to have a life, go home, have a warm uh, plate of food, have sex, and go to bed, and then go to work, and basically like having
Yeah.
someone take care of the children and so on. When that starts being in danger, then they get super triggered. But it's like, okay, you know what you need to do? Just be better.
hmm
And
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly. It does get super like when they realize that someone's wanting like feeling like they want a divorce. It's like it's like no, this is by design for you to not get divorced. And so yeah, it's going to cause anger because the men and the I guess the men and the women thought they were in it for I think the men are just too like they know why they're getting into this. I think women do too, but like what I'm saying is from their perspective, like they know that it's like, it's they're not going to leave them so they can have all these luxuries like you mentioned and
Yeah, they don't want love.
do
They
their own
want
thing.
Stockholm syndrome, and that is pretty
Right.
disgusting.
Yeah, that's
And
just kind of what I
then
feel.
there was a moment that Ben said, "Oh yeah, women like manly men." It's like, well, yeah, I mean,
Sure.
in a sense, sure, but like you can be a manly man without being an aggressive douchebag, and without like giving a woman the danger of you know getting beat up because you just lose your fucking shit like Ben did, right? And then,
Yeah.
of course,
Or
the thing he
maybe
said
women.
that, oh, yeah, it's okay for a man to, slap his wife around a little bit. Like, okay, let's explore that. How much? What is too much? And he played dumb, but he realized that I fucking had him. And I mean, James had to come to the rescue when I said, oh, if I cut off her left breast, her left tit, is that enough? Is that just tell me when enough is enough.
Why? I just don't get it, man. It's so desperate when you're bringing out like when you bring the bedroom out into the public and start exploring it with the opposite sex. That's like a line, dude. Like when you're like debating them and you're trying to like have like this weird like you're trying to create this friction that's just totally gross and inappropriate and I mean, bro, like, yeah, of course, we're gonna joke around about like sexual things from time to time, just in society, and you have friendships and shit. But it's like these are usually in like closed circles, or you're a guy with a microphone at the comedy club, right? Like, you're not like trying to showcase that you're like the Tarzan of the, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like he was just trying to put on a show about why he's so eligible for every lady that's out there. It
Right?
was just so gross and weird. Yeah.
The thing that kind of I thought was bizarre personally was that he was trying to tell us what men and women are intrinsically. he was trying to essentialize what men and women are, and I think
Mhm.
that's false. Men like different kinds of women. Women like different kinds of men. Other genders like other different kinds of genders, and it's just so much more complex and nuanced. And it's so weird. It's like, I don't know. Have you seen The Christmas Story? I always like to bring up movies. Have you seen A Christmas Story?
Don't. That's. I don't really
It's
know.
like
Well,
it's the movie where like they lick the pole and their tongue gets stuck to the pole. It's an 80s movie. It's like a classic kind of like Christmas movie, but basically A Christmas Story, that's what it's called. But and there's like a big leg, like a leg of a woman lamp that
you hit the second one I was gonna say. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
in the movie, it's like they kind of live, it's like in the 50s, and I think these people have a nostalgia of living in the 50s and the 60s, or the 70s, and I'm like, that era doesn't exist anymore, and they think that that era that they existed in is the real era of existence. And I think he kind of lives in a history that doesn't exist anymore, and I think that's hard for him. He's like, and he's very insulting to these other things that were there. And I have to go back to that other debate about Palestine. He even brought it up here. He's like, I'm against bigotry. I'm against hatred. We shouldn't hate anyone. We shouldn't be bigoted. And then the next breath is like, I'm going to mock your accent. I'm going to mock your sexuality. I'm like, which is it, my friend? Are you a person who's an advocate for the all, or are you the advocate for people? Are you against anybody who you don't agree with? Which one is it? And I felt that inconsistency. If he's trying to take the higher moral road, like he did before, like, you can yell and be passionate and say, look, I'm this ethical, I'm like, what was that priest in, the priest in South America who fought against like cartels and stuff. I don't know if his name was Cesar Romano, something like that. I forgot what it was, but there was some Catholic priest who fought against like cartels, and he fought for like people um, to get resources. I'll have to look it up, but
No.
but basically, um, it was just so bizarre because he's like, I'm this ethical, paragon and giant, and then the next breath I'm gonna mock your Oscar Romero from El Salvador. That's who I was
Yeah.
thinking of. He's a person who
Uh-huh.
fought for human rights. That was what thing, and he was assassinated for fighting for human rights. That's the kind of, those are the people I'm like, he's acting like that. He's acting like he's the Archbishop Oscar Romero, right? But I'm like, are you this type of person? Are you really this paragon of truth, justice, and the American way? Or are you really a bigot that's hiding behind ethics? And I think a lot of religious people do this. I'm going to call out religious people right now. They hide behind God to hide their bigotries and vile behavior. And we saw it tonight, actually, right here. We see people saying, I'm this paragon of justice and truth and love and, kindness, but they're really hiding behind that to have their vile perspectives and beliefs. They attack atheists, they attack anybody who doesn't agree with them, but they use God to do it. It's pretty gross. It's a pretty gross
It's
maneuver.
it's actually unbelievable. Yeah, it's like the playbook doesn't matter, but it also does. They'll come in and they'll do exactly what Christ would not do, and then they will say that Christ is king. Like it's they just it's just it happens so much even nowadays. They'll say that we've been forgiven. Jesus died on the cross, so basically yes, we sin, and like, but it's like, no, there's no accountability for your sin. Like, you just say that like you have a get out of jail free card as long as you pray about it or try to do better. And it goes back all the way to the argument of like, well, if Hitler like asked, for Jesus to save him right before he died, like, do you think that guy should go to heaven? Right. And it's like, it's just,
Hmm.
yeah,
There's a
they,
bunch of problems with that kind of I mean, it's just generally some logical problems with all of that. But
yeah,
the thing is that these people don't have any kind of consistency, because when he wanted to cite statistics, it's like, oh yeah, I have this statistic, okay, pull it up, crickets. And then when you bring up statistics, all of a sudden, oh yeah, numbers don't matter. Because he did tell Kat when she brought up some statistics also, oh no, that numbers don't matter. You're
It was
just
about being
citing.
diagnosed.
It's just numbers. Like, oh, okay, well, which is it? Are
She said
numbers
more
okay
people
or
are
no?
getting diagnosed now, which
Yeah.
has got to be true. And like he didn't even want to touch that point. He was just saying,
No.
"Oh no, they're just feeding them medicine, pharmakia, blah blah blah." Like it's like they don't even address the actual issues. They just don't want
And
to.
in the 50s, I mean, those women were not getting, they were not on antidepressants, but they were drinking wine at 2 p.m.,
Yeah,
right? And that kind of stuff. And they had a generally like kind of very boring life. So,
and it's
I mean,
not that pharmaceuticals are the answer to every problem. Yeah, there's obviously things that they can't solve love, right? And they can't solve like how you treat your kids and your family and stuff. But there are some people that have issues that are chemically treatable, right? And there's people that actually need it.
hi, Kat,
Hi.
welcome.
I decided to join because I'm like, I have to talk to somebody about what just went
Oh
on.
my god,
And you
We
all
would
that
sound
was
so much more
nuts.
reasonable.
We'd love to hear from you. We want to actually hear your opinions about all those kind of overtures of romance from your opponent.
I saw in the
From your
chat
Romeo.
somebody's like, Catherine is like, she probably has never been flirted with before or something. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is flirting. Like that's just I just had a really hard time because I was like, I kind of knew what they might be like, but I didn't really because I've never watched them before. And I felt like it was like this. I thought it was all like acting. Like, so the interactions between him and Max, I was just like, I just thought it was all like staged. So I was like really confused.
No.
I did
I'm
find
like,
it remarkable. I did find it weird, like that he basically at the end he's like, "Oh, Max, you're a cool guy. We're just joking. Don't you get it, champ?" Like, and he's just like turned it
I
off. So,
think
like, I can kind of see
he
what you mean.
I think he definitely like even the first time when he got mad at Max with the cat, like it didn't. I mean, I like studied acting. I mean, it's not like it didn't feel good acting. Like let's just say, it felt like he's just turning it on. So I think he like I don't know. To me, they're like characters who play it up. To be perfectly honest, and
Mhm.
they seemed like pretty friendly before we started the stream too. So I don't know.
Wow. In the
Yeah,
green
it's
room, you guys were just chilling.
yeah, we were. It was just like a normal chat, but he does do. It's a little bit of a character thing, and
Mhm.
I throw down. Like if you want to throw down, I'm down to throw down. If you want to go in the mud, I have no problem.
I just couldn't tell how much of that was a character. And even with you, Max, I couldn't tell. So I wasn't sure if you were actually like, or you're like playing it up a little bit too. Like, cause we've never talked before. So I've never talked to you before. So I didn't know. And so I was like, are they just like, being like fun? Like, so I found it like a bit amusing. And so I couldn't tell because that's why I was like, some of the things he said to you, I would, if I thought it was serious, I'd be like, I would say something, but I was like, I guess they're just playing it up. I don't know. I was just very confused by it.
I'm kind of used to like I mean, they always is like, oh, my boys, you're bald, what you have an accent, yada yada. So I don't care honestly anymore. It
That's
doesn't
good.
affect me. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. It's like, yeah, my voice sounds like this. I've sounded like this since I'm like 11. So I
It
don't
makes you
really
stand
care.
out. I mean, I don't know if like in your language, if like, because sometimes like voices sound depending on which language you speak, like that, like
Yes.
maybe
No,
everybody sounds kind of like that,
there is kind of a thing because I speak Spanish,
Mhm.
but it's a very specific dialect of Spanish that it only happens here in the capital city of Uruguay and in the capital city of
Mm.
Argentina. It's a
Mhm.
very specific niche of Spanish.
dialect.
But no, it's my voice. It's like that. I have my mom's voice. It doesn't affect me. It's like, yeah, I sound like that. Well, who cares? If you focus on the voice rather than like the message
content,
I already won. So critique away.
What I find bizarre about the voice is we have actors like, Sofia Vergara, Ana de Armas. They have the very similar sounding accent. It's not exactly the same, but it's like, what is the shock? Okay, there's a
people
Hispanic.
love it.
That's
but
it.
But I think almost people now expect women or men, well, women more, like to sound like her, because like there was like I remember like there was a thing going around, like a bunch of people were doing this video where it's like a casting session, and they're like, hey, I want you to play like a Spanish woman who's like missing a flight, and the person just like does a normal thing, and she's like, well, more Spanish. I'm like, oh, you want me to do a Spanish accent? And then they're like, the person does it a little bit, but like natural, like real. And then they're like, well, no, more like this, like, and the person goes, oh, so you want like a caricature of what a Spanish person sounds like, and they're about to walk off, and then the casting director is like, this role pays like $100,000, and then they go and do like the Sophia, I don't know how to pronounce her name,
Vergara.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, Mike.
I mean, you can say whatever I want. I can roll my R's. I can say rapidísimo.
Rapidísimo.
Yes.
I did it, I think. Rapidísima.
Perfect.
The only one time that I noticed that Grace really kind of spoke up, there may be a couple times, but she was trying to pin you two against one another on like the little, like the nuance of like what it is to be a victim versus like not a victim in a very like, particular
Kat disagrees
situation.
with you. She was like, Kat disagree. Yeah, I saw
she didn't want to even engage in like the topic at that point. She was like, ooh, does everybody see this? Like, we're totally winning. Like they're not getting along anymore. See, we turned them against each other. It's like, okay,
well, they kept
like
going also, like me conceding some points, but like they're hyper focused on only two things. I mean, honestly, I didn't even know how to deal with that debate, because I did a little bit of research beforehand on, because I was like, I'm gonna go on the data, because data, like otherwise just my opinion, like what's the point? But so it has to be data. So I looked at different data points, and I did like discover, okay, women don't get the same punishments, which would have been kind of like the weaker point, but I'm like, but why? Right? It's because the system is it's actually because of the stereotypes around women. They were like, oh, they're not big, like, they used to not, the musical Chicago. Yes. And that whole thing starts, and then it's like it's the first woman that they actually hang, because all the murderers the female murderers and murderer, they're like, oh, we're gonna get away with it. But that was all based on like not women like not taking accountability. It's like because the system was like basically rigged in a way that was like actually discriminatory towards them. They're not held as equal. So that's not like women trying to escape accountability. I mean, if I was on like, I would definitely try not to go to prison. So I'd be happy to have the system be like that. But like, that's not a woman thing. All right. It's like the system was built, because he's like, who built the system? And I'm like, well, it wasn't women. Men did, right? At the time. Now, like, obviously we have more involvement with women, and I'm not like, there's definitely systems where I do feel like it's unfair. But you brought up, I think, Max, the custody statistic, which is that of the men who apply, because I've heard all these like sob stories from men who struggled, but like if 90% of men get it when they do fight for custody, that's like a very significant data point.
Yeah.
Even though we're trying to be high level and avoid data.
Yeah, but then I don't know if you heard that we mentioned a couple of times, whenever they wanted to bring up statistics, oh yeah, statistics are the best. And then we cited a couple of statistics, and it's like, yeah, numbers
Oh,
don't
yeah.
matter. It's like, oh no, I don't
That's
care about
right.
that.
Oh, because they could be made up. He's like, I think he said something like, "Oh, you can make up any statistic and any number." Like, okay, well, it counts when. Yeah, I don't know how to
Is that
deal
your
with
real
it when
voice,
it's.
Max? Is that your real voice? Like that would be his response, right?
Yes. We have a
But that's
monkey
why I'm
cat
like, part of
podcast.
it is entertainment and part of it is
Right.
like debate, and I don't know like where at which point do you go into a
You
debate and
do
which.
regularly, because James said you're a political commentator. So, well, like, give us a. I didn't know who you were before, so give us a rundown. And if you want to send me your links in the private chat, I'll share them for everyone so they can follow you. Whoever doesn't know you.
Yeah, well, I'm on Twitter. Most of the political stuff is I don't know if I consider myself like straight out like political. Well, I guess people would. At this point I'm like, I just don't think of it as politics. I just think of it as society.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and psychology and like how, so but yeah, I do mostly like Twitter, wrote a book, I'm a journalist, and then I never did any of this stuff until like a few years ago, and maybe like 3-4 years ago it's kind of where I started doing more commentary. Most of my professional stuff was like journalism, a lot of interviews, things like that. And now I have a Substack. I do, and I have a podcast on YouTube as well, called Forbidden Conversations.
Oh, nice.
But
Sounds interesting.
sounds forbidden.
Sounds like it sounds
I
like
mean-
what he was trying to have with you tonight, live in front of the entire audience. Jesus.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think the reason I can be like very chill about it is like I just don't take it serious. I couldn't take him seriously.
No.
So it wasn't gonna like insult me or upset me or offend me, and I don't get very easily like offended or triggered. Anyways, like it's not about me, right? Like it's him.
Yeah,
It's him.
no, it's just about him and his insecurities, and he wants to let everyone know how he's a big, powerful man.
I mean, I
Good
still feel
Christ,
like it's like an
Roland.
act. Like I feel underneath that there's probably like a really nice person who doesn't believe in any of that. And then
Where does- Where did you say you were
I
paying?
think behind that, below that, there's an even more disgusting monster. But that's just me, my personal.
Yeah.
My
no, you're
personal
probably honestly
vibes.
you're probably more right than I am on this.
I thought it was weird when he said you were like playing the princess card, or what did he say?
Yeah.
The token.
He called me princess. The princess. Oh, because I didn't want to discuss like. Was it because I was like, why are you call? I was confused. Like, why are you? Why is he saying that? And I think it was like the. Oh, because something to do with like sexual stuff,
And
right?
no,
Like
it was
that I wasn't answering.
It was what do women want to do when they're like little kids, and it's like I don't know, depends. I've seen.
Oh yeah,
I've seen ones that want to be football players. I've seen ones that want to be pilots.
No, that was one of the times. I think he called me that twice, and one of it was like me avoiding, because I'm like, I know what the answer that you're like going for is, but it's not the answer. Like I definitely didn't think, and I mean, this is where I struggle. It's like I know what I did, but like. Some girls, maybe they did want to be like, some girls do play with toys, sure, but like it's like everybody has their own thing, and it's also not the only. So even if some girls are like, yeah, I want to play with a toy, pretend I'm a mother, because that's kind of like that's something that society kind of pounds into you a bit too from that early age. They give you that doll. Like I wouldn't have picked a doll, right? If I played with like tanks and toy soldiers also, like, and it's like kids are given certain things. Boys are not usually given dolls, right? And so maybe some boys want to play with dolls, like who cares? And it's like
I have 3 nieces. 2 are girly girls, and the youngest one, she likes playing football. She likes playing. She collects cars, and like I don't know. She's a little bit of a
Tomboy.
tomboy. Yes,
Mhm.
and it's like fine. Like do what her mother, like her parents, my sister and her husband, they don't force her to play with dolls, and she just doesn't like dolls, doesn't like teddy bears and that kind of a thing. It's like, and there's no one cares. Like, oh, you be happy.
Yeah, have you ever
I
walked
think
in
I
the?
played with both. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I played
I'm
with
sorry.
dolls. I played with dolls. I had the full size GI Joes, like the 12-inch big old GI Joes. Those are
G.I.
my dolls.
Joe.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are
but you
not
weren't
dolls, they're
given like
action figures.
a girl
Action figures.
doll, right? Like I was given like Barbie. I was also
Yeah.
given like little tanks and toy soldiers. Like I played with all of it. Honestly, I was more tomboyish, I would say, because I liked playing like the kind of stuff I liked to play when I was that age was like more with boys. But I'm pretty feminine now, and I have some masculine. Like we're all like a mix of things, and so I don't know, to put people, like, I understand there's some gravitation that might be in your hormones, whatever, I don't know. And some things are, a lot of things I would say are more social. Like you get it because that's how you're raised. Like there were certain expectations. I grew up in like in a Eastern European household. So like the expectations were very specific, very traditional in some ways, and in some ways not. But like that affected me. So I didn't have like a free choice of everything. And most of us don't. And when we are provided it, I don't know, like people are gonna, I think it's gonna be all over the place.
Right, and I grew up in like a South American, like in Uruguay down
Mhm.
here, and I mean Latina women, and there's also an interaction there between Latina women and Latino men. There's a little bit of machismo, but then a lot of respect for strong women and so on. So there is a very American-centric view when it comes to these types of debates. And I tried, and they scrambled. They said, "Yeah, we don't talk about the rest of the world. They don't. No one exists except America."
yeah.
They said they didn't know. They said they didn't know. They said didn't research, and I'm like, you're not debating about America. You're debating in general. So you're stuck, bro. You're stuck, sis. You have an issue. And
Well, they were trying to define the constraints of the debate based on what they, proposed in the beginning, which is not really like it's like, I mean, it's fair enough. You can try and do that in a debate, but we don't have to abide by that either. Like that's not how it works. So.
it's not even true because take someone like me. I'm an American too. Guess what? My father's from South Asia, right? A very different cultural experience. I don't have the cultural experience that they have. I don't come from a Catholic background that they came from, but I'm also an American. So they're trying to superimpose what their American view is on all Americans. And America is a multicultural space. Just because you're a Catholic American doesn't mean everybody's a Catholic American like you. And I think that and it's like I said before, I felt like before you came Kat, they said something very interesting. It sounded very much like, our good friend was like living in the 60s. He was like his small world of the 60s was what was being manifested. He didn't know anything outside that. And I was joking because I was talking about, A Christmas Story, right? Are you familiar with that movie?
Yeah.
It was like he was a child in the Christmas Story. Like he was one of those kids that are running around and living that kind of life in a very small town Americana world where everybody looks like you. They all have the same culture as you, and you don't know anything outside that culture. And
I think that's the difficulty for a lot of people. Sorry to interrupt. No, it just seems like that's a big difficulty for a lot of people of that maybe generation and style, like because they're seeing a lot of changes around them, and those changes are skin color and culture, and it's hard to adjust because I think in general, like we might have a certain like age at which we've sort of like, this is for me, it's like I compare everything, all the prices right now for groceries to like prices in a very specific time in my life. And I think it's kind of like that for some people about culture. And so they're stuck. And so it feels very intimidating where everything is changing and it doesn't feel right. Right. Like seeing all of that and, oh, people don't do this anymore. But like reality is things change, things transform. It's hard when it's fast. Like if it's too fast, I think it's a problem. But like, yeah, but it is. I think people have a hard time adjusting.
Yeah, it's the reminiscence of the good old days.
Yeah.
But I mean, I worked at a company called Oquen doing mortgage loan servicing. And the one thing that they told us all the time is like, embrace change because the rules change from one moment to the other. And you need to keep up. When you get the memo of a rule change, you can't get hung up on the fact that the rules were different 5 minutes ago. When they're changed, they change. And do not resist it because you'll get fired, right? So
yeah.
a lot of people have a hard time dealing with, especially with America, that there's this very high percentage of religiosity. And as I said in my opening, I've never heard, even from the most fervent right-wingers down here, I've never heard anyone say women are not held accountable. It just doesn't happen. But my country has 45% of religious people and 45% atheists, which is not the norm.
Yeah,
How
I
much
even
is
told
it in the
Max,
US?
I'm like, I don't even know what that topic. It sounds so vague and like it's how do you even argue the position? Like, what are we talking about? But I think that's probably why James did it that way to like see if it could kind of stir the pot.
I thought James was gonna maybe like refine it a little bit and maybe set the like clarify the statement a little bit. So I was a little surprised. My fault, I guess. I'm gonna be accountable because I didn't watch like recent episodes. I guess if he does it all the time.
I did watch the previous debate, and the previous debate, he had crime, he had reproduction, like basically abortion and putting the fate of the human species on women. Then domestic violence, they said the same thing. Women initiate more domestic violence, yada, yada.
Which I don't know where that comes from.
No idea. No, just another bold-faced lie. And then this other guy, because he's kind of on the manosphere, kind of a YouTube kind of a thing, he made, unironically, and you can go watch it, it's the one with Fugazi. He said that, there's all these women that are fat and other women tell them that they're beautiful, and then you have all the simps that will fuck them and so on. And it's like, oh, holy shit, how do you think like that? Like, that is insane.
It's kind of shocking to me because I think I was never exposed to people like that so much in real life. Like I think most people around me. Yeah. Ever. And then you see that and it's like, and then there is this like, I don't know, the whole red pill thing is just, I mean, they're very like, they hate women, but they hate themselves, really. That's really what's at the core of it. And so they feel rejected or scared. And so like, because I don't like any sane man, like men are like normal men don't think that way. It's not, you know, there might be like little sexist things here and there, but it's like nobody's like that. But they've convinced themselves, and then they find, so like they'll be the gurus, right? The big podcast people who do the red pill content, and they're very, I think they know they're bullshitting half of it, and half of it maybe they believe, but the men who find them, they're just like, I think they just get indoctrinated more and more because suddenly, oh yeah, those guys saying that makes sense. Oh yeah, very based. And it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't know, do you know Witsit Gets It? Have you ever heard that name?
No. That's maybe for the best.
he's in a different arena, but he did the little red pill thing that was literally one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. But yeah,
I watched some of it, but not that one.
He's a flat earther.
That environment is toxic, is my point. But
It is very toxic. And then they'll bring in these women on some of these podcasts who are just either like they hate themselves or they're just really dumb and just want attention. And they'll
Yeah.
point to that and they'll be like, see, this is what women are. This is what women are like. This is what they want. And it's just like the most ridiculous thing, but it sells. And that's like something in our culture that's causing that.
That's what he
Yeah,
tried tonight,
like,
but he didn't land anything. I'm sorry, Max. He like you weren't giving him anything, and he hated every second of it, and so he just kept picking on Max the whole time. But like he didn't land anything. It was.
I'm a very
hard
bad
fall.
target for that. I think I think even like, I don't know. There's some like men because I watched some of this stuff because I'm
Yeah.
like curious. I'm curious to see how people think, how they talk, why they believe those things. And so like if somebody tries that stuff on me, it's just not. I don't know. I think it'd be very hard to hit me with that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not somebody I know. Like I can see myself. Maybe I'd get upset if it's like, you know, my dad saying something like that, or my brother or something, but not random stranger.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, why would you like really care? I kind of I don't care. I throw down because I find it like extremely funny, and you know, there's a bunch of quips. Like I told him, like, hey, it's a hemorrhoids, like calm down, and that kind of a thing. I find that interaction kind of funny.
The pushing buttons.
But then I can switch it off to like, okay, let's continue the debate. And if Ben wouldn't have just like lost his lid on that comment, I wouldn't have. You know, I giggled over the thing that he said, and he asked me like, "Why do you giggle?" And he's like, "Okay, why?" I mean,
dude, he was.
I could feel him pushing. Honestly,
yeah.
I could feel him pushing. Like, I need to make this a thing, and like, you know, it didn't feel authentic to me at all. I don't actually think he was upset. I think he like riled himself up to be like entertaining and to pretend to be upset, or maybe just to pretend to be upset, you know, because oh my gosh, he insulted Catholics. I know why you laughed, but I don't. Yeah, he's just.
Well, I think a normal person would be tripping over their words, right? Like he didn't really trip over his words so much that he was just saying stupid things. Like I think a normal person, when they're like emotionally flustered, is going to be like stuttering or like struggling to really find their next thought. And I don't think he really had a problem with that. So I can kind of see
I don't think he had any emotion about it, honestly. Like it was all a play.
And we got the typical comeback, like, oh yeah, teachers. It's like, okay, I've heard people say that defense many times. What I've never seen is them provide the actual evidence that there is a more likely chance of getting essayed by a teacher than an actual, like a priest. And in any case, one thing doesn't invalidate the other one. The problem is that in general, schools will not cover up for those teachers. Schools will do investigations and lead to the police. The actual contention with SA and the church is that the church covers it up. So I'm not holding the institution as responsible for the essay itself, but for the cover-up. That is my contention.
Which is definitely a fair, because I mean, this kind of stuff happens sadly wherever there's like an adult in a position of power over a child, and those people are drawn to that. So that's really unfortunate. But it is about how do you like what do you build to protect children going forward? How does whether it's a community like a religious community, how do they respond? Do they cover it up? Like that's really what it's about. But
I've heard stories about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Like they'll just move them to a different chapter or something. Like like there has to be, what is it? They have like a 2-person reporting rule or something. They have this really weird stipulation where like if a child like tells that, you know, so and so was like, you know, doing something inappropriate, that there has to be at least 2 people that like either a witness or the other person has to basically confess themselves for it to even get to like what you would call like a meeting or an interaction. And then they'll just, again, if they're an elder or something like that. I'm hearing this from an ex Jehovah's Witness, and I'm probably like not doing it justice, but something to the effect of they'll just move them somewhere else to protect the movement, right? Or like to just make them not their problem and not really give the same care
I
and
mean, this is
consideration
a
for children.
big problem within, like, I think pretty much all religious communities where they'll deal with it maybe internally. So I know somebody also in the Jehovah's Witness where that person was unfortunately assaulted and did speak up, and all they did is like remove that person from the community, but there's no like police action. And so this person who is a professional, like is like a medical professional, they are still in the community at large, probably abusing people, right? Because they're not, why would they stop? And and this happens a lot within all sorts of religious communities, and that's like that's a really big problem.
Yeah, that's
Almost
very
like it's
true. Because they like when you have those incidents happen, a lot of religious communities would be like, okay, let's not. Last thing we want to do is bring this to police. Let's not do that. So let's take this person, move him over here, and just forget about it.
Yeah, because they don't want
everything will pass
scandal.
by. Yeah, they don't want it.
But I certainly think it's immoral, because the greater responsibility is not just to your own community for them not to harm. I mean, like, for them not to harm, but like for them to also not harm others. So yeah, like in the very ultra Orthodox Jewish community, like what I've read was they had this like wall of it, like in New York, they had this like wall of shame whenever there'd be somebody who'd be, found that they've done things to kids. But that's like, to me, that's not enough, because really that should be going to the police so that person is removed as a potential threat, because that person moves out of the community, but they're still a threat, right? And again, it's not just like that community. It's like, it's really every community does this.
Yeah. And but the difference is what you do about it. And I mean, we've had you probably don't know the story, but this channel started on another channel, and the former owner got caught up in a sting operation. And when we found out, like, we immediately left, because I couldn't go on with someone. And he got convicted, went to jail for like 8 months, and then got out, so on. And it's like, the moment I found out, I was like, yeah, I'm out. Well, I'll go do my own thing somewhere else. I cannot be associated with you in any way. And
I remember you did like a 2:30 in the afternoon like live stream, like everything stops, like I need to address this right now. And yeah, that was wild.
I mean, and I only waited to make sure that I wasn't just like going crazy. I checked with Isa, checked with Dr. J, put my thoughts together, and then I hit like live, and it's like, yeah, this is over. And it's what you do with something. And was I a friend with someone who did that? Yeah. But the instant that I found out, I removed myself from that situation. So am I in the wrong? No, because we don't live in even the same hemisphere. Let me read.
But according to him, you should have known better, right? You're just dumb. And
like, apparently.
That was another
Net2User says, do you feel that working with Americans and being immersed in the US culture has influenced your everyday mindset to the point it's reshaped your original Uruguayan perspective? No. In any case, it's made me appreciate the fantastic things that this very small, poor country has. The fact that we have same-sex marriage, abortion, we just passed euthanasia law, the fact that we abolished slavery 40 years before the US, the fact that Uruguay has 97% literacy rate while the US has 79. No, it has actually made me appreciate my country even more. So great question. Thank you.
That was a good question.
Or do you think the US worldview has too strong a presence in global discourse, even affecting how people from Uruguay think and learn? No, I don't think. All of this stuff is exclusively it's very American centric. Do you think in Europe they're having debates about are women being held accountable? No, no.
The only other. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead, Kat.
No,
You can
go
go first.
Okay, we're gonna do. You
No,
go.
you. Okay. All right. So what I was going to say is the only other thing that I thought I wanted to put the question out there was, does it make the Jehovah's Witnesses, since it was the sake of argument, does it make it more attractive to people that do have this like tendency to want to be a predator, right? Like, does it, or is it just something that you fall into? Like, I think there's certain like you might say the preachers, right, that realize that they don't have to pay taxes and they just go out there and they'll spout nonsense and like try to build an audience and do all the
I
marketing and
think with
whatever.
the religious,
But
like
is it
ministers and stuff like that, like those people are probably not attracted to it because they feel like they can hurt like children, but probably they're struggling with these inner demons that they think that they can like keep at bay by becoming religious, but then they don't. And then they find themselves in positions of power where they're able to like act out on
that
these
makes sense.
impulses.
So they're
Yeah.
already vulnerable, and then they get this false
Yeah.
sense of authority that allows them to act out on their vulnerabilities. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
think so. Also about America, I will say this because people are always, I'm not American, I'm Canadian. And I think that people are often are like, why are you talking about America? And then, you know, people in Europe and in Asia, wherever, they're like, they're talking because America has such a strong impact on the rest of the world. And especially like if you're in an English speaking country, it probably has an even greater impact, but really on every country because the policies that are set by America, the culture that it imports and exports, that like has such an impact on all of us. So yeah, we might not get to vote, but we do get to talk about it.
Especially when the US will start doing stuff like it's doing right now in South America that is very detrimental to our lives. Like the whole blowing up the boats thing without any kind of evidence. Turns out it wasn't a Venezuelan boat, it was a Colombian boat, and it wasn't a narco, it was just a fisherman and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it is kind of important. And I'm in a weird situation because I've lived here all my life, but I have worked for US companies since I'm 20 years old.
Me too.
So like, yeah, I'm very Americanized when it comes to what I listen as music, what I watch for entertainment. And I've been speaking English all day, every day for 17 years. So does it affect me like in the day-to-day directly? No, because Uruguay has pretty good relations with the US and we're kind of very diplomatically stable. But it is a very big part of my life when it comes to, you know, work and other entertainment and so on. And I am Americanized in some ways. Like, for example, I expect if you tell me you're going to call me, and this drives me crazy about this country because it doesn't happen here. If you tell me that you're going to call me at 5 p.m. at 5 to 5, I'm sitting there waiting to get the call. And it doesn't happen here because this is the third world. If they tell you that they will call you at 5, start getting ready at 5:30 that they will call you at 7. That is kind of the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of YouTube creators, like especially in the religious and political spectrum, and this stupid little thing we call flat Earth that we all kind of dance around with. That there's such a spectrum of these topics where there's a lot of different groups and a lot of different opinions, and I guess different sects, different types of Christians or different types of policies and stuff like that. That YouTube creators in these topics will like set their schedules based on America. They want to hit like Eastern time, and they still want to catch like the afternoon rush for like Pacific time. So like you're right, but I think it's because of the nature of the topics too.
Well, if I post things about Canada, like I'm not getting a lot of interest in that unless it's
Yeah,
something like very like controversial that the American right wing is really into, like and
yeah,
so and it and whether you want to or not, you're like you react to that. You do end up talking about things that people talk about, and also you're reading all this stuff about it. You're not reading as much about sometimes your own country as maybe you should, but like, and so that also has an impact. And if you want to be somebody who has presence, like bigger, like you're gonna have to focus on America. Like it
yeah.
is what it is.
Dumb Americans, right?
I mean, there's some
You're
smart
all.
ones. I did live in America. I've lived in New York, which I like, but
Oh, cool.
it's like, but I think I think America is more, when I think about like Canada, which is more mild mannered in some ways, and like we don't have the same, I think, level of division. Like if you take a conservative and a liberal, like now it's getting bigger because I think it's starting to imitate the American thing, but like it hasn't been day to day. And then with America, it's just so polarized, which makes it so difficult to like talk to each other, to solve issues. It's just so frustrating what's happening, and it's just getting worse and worse. And I think social media plays like a massive role in that too, because again, it rewards this like outrage content. And so whether you're on the left or you're right, like that's what's incentivized to post. And so you're creating like a bigger barrier between people, and it sucks.
Great.
Hmm. Yeah, trying to find the we here are big on accountability. And okay, if Ben would have said, yeah, the church has had some mishaps in the
Mhm.
past, but we're trying to make it work, because they have changed. It has. I don't remember of one of those like big SA scandals in recent time. It used to be more of a thing of the past, but the Catholic Church has historically done the mea culpa. It's the Christians that don't, that just refuse, and the church could do no wrong, and so on. And if he
Mm.
would have said, "Yeah, we've made some problems in the past," the conversation would have ended there. I would have said, "Thank you for admitting that," and we would have moved on. It's not sign of weakness to say the basically the problems with your position. For example, I am at heart like a communist. And I do acknowledge that there were some problems with communism, with
A lot.
people dying and yada yada yada. Right? I won't run away from that. I will acknowledge that. But there's also other things that are good, in my opinion, right?
What are the
Uh,
okay, well, I'm curious, but
We're
that's
about
I
to have
guess
a
a different
debate.
conversation.
We're about to have a debate.
Well,
uh,
I come from the Soviet Union, so like
Oh, okay.
I definitely have views on communism. I'm not like, like I like the countries we live in have a lot of socialism in them, and I think that could be a positive, but or a negative, just depends on the policies that are being implemented. But like, yeah, communism, because communism has this like just anyways, it's it was not a fun system to live under for certainly my family. I was
well,
still young, but yeah.
I no, and that is fair. That is fair. There were problems inherent with the system. There were problems with the leadership turning into authoritarianism. That was I think that was the biggest downside to the whole thing. And then, of course, there were the external actors, aka the US, making sure that communism didn't flourish. Like, for example, in Cuba,
Mhm.
right? So there are do the mea
Uh-oh.
culpa about, but then the communist revolution succeeded in Cuba, and the US said, we can't have that. And even then, Cuba still has 100% literacy rate. They might not have iPhones, they might have
Listen, some
presume?
things even in like the Soviet Union, we can say were better. Like there were certain things that were better, right? People were pretty well educated. There were certain things like the culture was there was great cinema, but there's also the problems that way. And I think because for me, I emphasize a lot more. I think in general on the individual. And so individual rights and rather than this collective, which I think, I mean, there is a role for a community, which is important. But when it's not voluntary, right? That's where, for me, it's with all these systems that have been tried, it's like not voluntary. That's, I think, at the heart of it. And that's where I like really don't align versus like if people, if you take like a kibbutz in Israel or something like that, right? Like that would be the closest you get, and that's not perfect either, but like that's the closest you get to like real communism, because it's a bunch of people who decided we're voluntarily, this is how we're going to live, we're be collective. What'd you say?
I visited the kibbutz. I went to Israel, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like it like, and I'm not like an expert on kibbutzes, but that is generally like it's not, nobody's like forced to go live there, and they can leave. If they leave, it's a little bit tricky. But there is like that's closer to the vision of this kind of utopian communism, I guess.
It's interesting that your family comes from the USSR. My mom's family comes from. It was before the USSR. It was like Russia. They came in like the late 1800s, early 1900s when they had the pogroms. So that's when the family came over. They kind of escaped from that. So
good timing, I guess. I mean, I'm assuming they left before the pogroms. Okay, yeah, that's good.
It was like during that time, from Russia, Ukraine. What
yeah.
Soviet Union,
my part is Ukraine. Yeah.
Now, that being said, for example, one thing that no one, like we always hear about, communism killed 60 million people. We never hear about the number, and no one even cares about the number of people that have died of hunger under capitalism just because they didn't have money to buy a packet of rice. So, or
that's
the
why,
people
because
that die from cold in the streets during the winter and so on. No one keeps a tally on those.
Yeah, but you do have a level of freedom, and look, I and this is why I don't think capitalist system is like an absolute like libertarian kind of system works either. Like that's why I think you called me a libertarian at one point, and I'm like, yeah, no. Well, like, because I don't believe in libertarianism, because I do think there has to be some level of like security blankets. Like, we have healthcare, for example, in Canada. Not perfect. I have a lot of issues with that system, and I have some ideas of like how we can maybe do it a bit differently. But I don't want anybody to be like, sick and being like, hey, I don't have money for a doctor to get a checkup. And I think as a society, I do believe in a society that looks after those people who have fallen on hard times. And also, like, we do things that are, I guess, like for the good of the like people in general. Like, we build roads, we have police forces, we have schools. So it's just a matter of navigating like how much of that we put in, and how much having a balance where it's still giving people like individual liberty, and yet having these like safety blankets. I mean, even in like right-wing countries, like I spent some time in Hungary. It's interesting because they'll have all these socialized things like healthcare, not good. Apparently it really sucks, but they have it. They have a lot of like beautiful parks, and they'll do public events and things like those. Those are all like features, I would say, of socialism within sort of a more right-wing system. So I don't know. It's like, I think it's about finding the right balance.
Yeah, I generally would agree with that sentiment. That is, the far right is probably, it's not the way to go. The far left is probably not the way to go. The best thing is something in the middle, usually, like
a
with
happy
most
medium.
things.
Yeah,
A
happy
balance.
medium. Yeah,
A balance in things, and that usually takes care of the things. But you can't get to that line of reasoning if you don't accept the flaws of your own system. If you are like, let's go the right, and all you do is just cheerlead for your side, and you don't do a little bit of introspection, then you're basically
Which is what's
stuck.
happening.
Yes.
Yeah, that's happening a lot. And that's because like when people talk, they talk to like to win instead of like listening or finding common ground. Like I'm like interested, like you said, you like support communism, but like you seem like a very sensible person. So I'm like curious about what features of it and how, like, and this could be a really interesting conversation. But and I've talked to other people who believe in communism and like who are really smart, but like a lot of people will be like, oh my God, communists, like you're a retard, and like, and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And that's not a good way to go. But that's what's happening. And so we don't have that healthy middle. And I believe in like looking at other countries and going, okay, so this is how they dealt with this like problem. This is how they dealt with like, let's say prison. Okay, like maybe we don't have exact same situation here, but what can we like learn from that? What things worked, what things didn't, why did something fail? Even like I looked at Mamdani's like grocery store stuff, right? And like to me, I was just looking, okay, what are some other examples? And in what cases did it work and how often did it fail? Like seems like it failed a lot, but it worked in areas. It worked very rarely, but it worked, for example, in an area where it was a very small town. There weren't a lot of people. And from a capitalist perspective, like a company isn't going to go in there. There's just not enough people to service, right? So instead of like having that place be a food desert, like, yeah, the government steps in and like opens a government store, and that seems to work. So like just learning from what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, and we live in such a great time where we have all the data that you would possibly want available. But people are more interested in just rooting for their own team. I noticed that I generally don't advertise that I'm communist because Americans tend to crash out really hard. I think it's a
they get mad.
remnant.
They get
It's
real
a
mad.
remnant of the Red Scare. And it's like, oh, communism is the devil. You want to come and kill us all. You want to finish it. Like you're there like with the Russian flag screaming death to America. And it's like, no, I'm not.
Like wearing one of the hats like the Nutcrackers would have on, stiff legs. Yeah.
Well, I think it's because everyone kind of defines that differently too. Like is it like a system by which you overthrow the existing system through a violent revolution versus like it depends on how you envision it. Like how do you envision it happening, for example?
One of the biggest gripes that I have is the expropriation of the bourgeoisie. I think starting your new wonderful system with an act of extreme violence will only lead you down a very dark path. So if you start your revolution like with firearms and killing people, you're basically screwed. There has been some cases in which they have worked, but I think that phasing them out through invalidating what they have, which is money, would be the best way to go. But it will require, a massive effort. And it is a little bit utopic. But the one thing that I always say is that the utopia is useful, even if you don't reach it, so that you at least have a path. You have a way to start walking, and you might not get the whole thing done, but if we start improving 5%, 10%, 11, 12, 50, and then you get stuck and it's like, okay, we can't improve anymore, let's reassess, let's see where we are, where do we go now? I think that is a more sensible position than just locking into an ideology and cheerleading for it.
Sure. And if you were to say like 5-10%, like what would be the main things that you would want to see in a system like America's, for example?
Food, water, shelter, education, clothing, leisure. Very like Norman.
Provided by the from what taxes?
Provided either with taxes or figuring out creative ways in which we can actually provide. Because I hold the idea that in today's world we have the resources to feed, house, clothe, and educate every man, woman, and child in this planet. And if everyone had their basic needs met, I think at the very least, this would be a better world in and of itself. Oh, hey, Ben. Hello.
Oh, wow.
I'm here to break up the circle jerk. You guys are telling yourselves you won. That's fine.
Oh, no.
Oh, Ben.
Are you going to talk to us about communism and how?
Oh, yeah. No, communism is a fantastic philosophy. It only has 9 figures of deaths behind it. So, until we get into the billions of people killed by communism, it's a pretty good idea. Well, now that we're only in the hundreds of millions
we've
of
never
deaths in the
achieved
last
communism.
century, it's still a viable project, I think. I'm with Max. That's a centrist point of view. Hundreds of millions of deaths. Not bad.
Do you have a problem with innocent deaths?
Yes.
Then why are you a Christian?
Are you telling me Christianity has killed hundreds of millions of people?
Yes.
Where?
At certain points.
No, it has not.
Ever heard of the Crusades? And wait, hold on.
I've heard of the Crusades, yeah.
Let's just go to the top. Ever counted how many people God kills or commands to be killed in the Bible?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I know. Go do that and get back to me.
Are you talking about Noah's Ark? You're talking about Noah's Ark?
Planet.
That's what we're doing here? We're comparing communism with the story of Noah's Ark. Okay, fine. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, you believe that it's true, correct?
Do I believe that Noah's Ark is true?
Yes.
Do I believe there's a worldwide flood that completely wiped out everyone in the world? Literally? Except Noah and his sons and 2 of each animal that got on an ark?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
no, I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? Then why is it in the Bible?
Okay, so you grew up in a Catholic culture and you don't even understand how.
I didn't.
Oh, Uruguay is not a Catholic culture?
It's not.
It most certainly is.
No.
What's the language you speak? What's your native language?
Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so
we kick them
a
out
language.
in the
No, hold on a
1800s.
minute. Hold on a minute. A culture is determined primarily by its language. Where does the Spanish language originate?
In Spain.
What's up, everybody?
In the Iberian Peninsula. It is one of the most Catholic countries ever in history, right?
Yeah.
So you grew up in a Catholic culture, moron.
No.
Okay.
I didn't, because my country has 45% atheists. I learned religion after I developed an interest of seeing why people believe in
yes,
that kind
I understand, but you're Catholic atheists.
No, I'm not. I'm an atheist. I learned. I learned. You cannot tell me what my culture is, dude. You can cope and see it all you want. But I am not from a Catholic country.
Your country was founded by Spanish colonists, and then there was a mix with the native population.
No, they exterminated them all because you people love to kill a lot.
I'm not Hispanic. I'm not Hispanic.
No, I mean Catholics.
Okay. So there's no mixing. There's no native population in Uruguay. That could be true. I don't know.
They exterminated almost everyone.
Okay. But that's not generally.
That's okay.
That's
good. That's good.
Listen, moron.
No,
Listen,
you're not going
generally
to insult
speaking,
me. You're not going to insult me in my own house. So calm your fucking tits.
No, you go ahead, bounce me because you're a bitch. Go ahead, bounce me because you're a bitch because you can't have a conversation.
No. I'm not going to bounce you. I'm just going to embarrass you.
It's in your house. It's in your house.
It's you're in my house,
what a fucking brilliant party you got here.
You're in my
people
house.
Are here.
Stop yelling. Put on some ointment for your hemorrhoids and calm the fuck down. I was having a nice chat with you. Like, calm down. We can talk. It's okay. We disagree.
No, you're just
lying.
But
there's no need to insult each other. In Uruguay, the Spanish came and they killed almost everyone.
Okay. Are you
Is that
the
okay
descendants?
or is that wrong?
Okay, wait a second. Are you the descendants of the Spanish conquerors? Are you or are you not?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so your people did this.
No. My
Dude,
people.
what the fuck, man?
No. The people
Your
I have
people
a
did
connection
this.
with here. I have
Your
a connection
people
with the
did
people
this.
of this
Not my
land.
people.
I am Latino.
Your people did this.
I am Latino. So, and even if you say that I am part of that, I say that it was wrong to exterminate the indigenous population almost
Fine.
in its entirety.
Fine, but your people did this. You are the
No.
descendants of the people. Oh my God.
Wasn't the original
wait,
question about
even if-
Noah's Ark?
Are you not the descendant, the direct descendant of the people who came to that country and you, as you say, exterminated the natives and then populated that territory? Say no, please say no. Then I'll know you're just completely batshit crazy.
Sure, like, yeah, I'm the crazy one when you are the one that in a debate.
What's the
against
answer to the
hundreds of
question?
people said
Are
that,
you the direct?
yeah,
it
women,
doesn't mean you're
maybe men
responsible.
should go back to love tapping women a little
Are
bit.
you the direct lineal descendant of the people who came there and did what you said they did?
Well, technically no, because my grandfather emigrated from Spain, so.
Okay,
I am
what about the other
Spanish.
side? That's
I am
1/4 of
Spanish.
who you are.
Yes, but Ben, it doesn't matter that even if I say yes, what I'm trying to realize and what we were talking right before you joined is that here we like accountability. So the way that we do that is we admit our flaws. And even if you consider me as part of the freaking conquistador Spanish, the thing is that I say that it was wrong to exterminate the
Fine,
indigenous
I agree. That's
population.
fine. You can say that, but I'm just saying, if you point your finger at me and say you're the ones who did this, point the finger at yourself too, because you're the ones who literally did this. Your ancestors. Ain't not one single one of my ancestors ever did this. My people are from Norway. We never did this to anyone.
What?
Are you
Okay,
telling me the
but-
Norwegians were imperialists? They weren't. Never.
So,
Well, we raped and pillaged a couple Irish people, but
Yeah,
So
no,
Noah's
no,
Ark.
it's
Yeah.
not like the Vikings were super peaceful people. Like, but it's like
no, but they weren't.
Well, they didn't do colonialism,
They weren't
that's for
colon.
sure.
They weren't.
No,
colonial.
no, they just went in, killed everyone, pillaged, and went back to their home. But like
Yes.
that's a
Yeah.
massive difference.
Well, it's not colonialism.
It's not genocide.
Oh, it's not colonialism. Okay, like if I kill you, but
Hey,
I don't
Max,
take
I
your
don't
land,
get it.
it's
We're both
okay.
of European descent. Europeans engage in colonialism. Europeans
Yeah,
also
and
like engaged in
colonialism is
warfare
wrong.
and raping
Yeah.
and pillaging. Just
Yeah,
because
and that's
my
wrong.
people were better at it than your people, I don't really think it makes much of a difference.
Right, but it's what I'm trying to say is that accountability is important. That those things are important.
I agree. I think there should be a wholesale revisiting of the colonial project. I don't think the way that Europeans came over here was consonant with like the values of Christianity. And that's widely understood by Christians as being inconsistent. However, it was not, if you're going to compare Catholic imperialism to British imperialism, you'll find a very big difference. You know what it is?
No.
Okay, because I think you'll find this interesting if you don't know. In French and Spanish colonies, the strategy with the natives was somewhat, yes, wipe them out, but if not, intermarry with them, right? That's why you have like the striation of like more. You don't just have black and white where there was slavery. You have mulatto. You have all these kind of intermediate things, right? Whereas in the Anglo thing, you keep separate. That's why in the United States of America in the 1960s, it was illegal for whites to marry blacks as defined by the one drop rule, right? That's not how it went in the Central and South America.
I think you're whitewashing it because it wasn't just about intermarrying. The same way that they went around killing people, they also went around raping people. And all of these mulatto,
Yes,
mestizo,
right, everywhere there was.
I'm sorry, but
that,
I'm speaking now. All of this, mulatto, mestizo, pardo, all of the options, they were seen as lesser citizens. So
yes, that's right. There still was
not
a kind
good
of
point for you.
racism, right? The Europeans were seen as the highest level, but there were striations down. So you don't have Black Lives Matter in Uruguay, right?
No, because we're not racist.
Because the blacks mixed. I don't know if you had blacks there as slaves. I don't know if you had African slaves.
Yeah,
okay,
we
so
do. We
they're
abolished
mixed.
slavery 40 years before the U.S.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But now you're saying Uruguay is like a paragon of virtue. I mean, which one is it? Yes, 40 years before. Okay, sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Do you want to know what the literacy rate? Do you want to know what the literacy rate of my country is compared to yours? My country has 97% literacy rate. Your country has 79. Your country is like infinitely more wealthy than mine. But we managed to educate our people.
Yeah, I agree. You're arguing for a Catholic cultural superiority. I agree.
No,
I agree with it.
No, because you don't have cultural superiority here. We have 45% atheists here and 45% religious people, which Catholics are the biggest group within that 45%, but that also includes all other groups.
But what I just want you to understand is that what I want you to understand, you may not see this, but the base of your culture comes from the Iberian Peninsula. Yes, it does, you idiot. Oh, really? So, so where does it come from? Where does it come from?
The laws don't come from Christianity. Culture doesn't come from Christianity because we have influence. The ones that had the biggest hold here are the Spanish, but we have influences from all over Europe. We had to kick all of the Europeans out.
Okay, so Europe.
Spanish,
what's
Portuguese,
the foundation of Europe? What's the foundation of Europe? European culture.
It depends on where.
Christianity, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, for a time you were the dominant because you went around killing people if they didn't join your little cult.
Yeah.
No. What you don't understand is that you're splitting two things. The Spanish monarchy is a secular monarchy, right? So it was like it was not run by the. Do you think the Pope ran the Spanish monarchy?
No, but they were very tied because
yes, they were tied. Right?
Do you know who Franco is?
And in general, the church had an anti-violence, treat everyone right. They wanted to spread the gospel, but they put the brakes on for example, the Spanish Inquisition. You don't even know your own history.
I don't think you understand history,
wait. Did you just say that?
Oh, good one, monkey, cat, Pat. Why don't you shut your fucking mouth and go back to your zoo crew?
Calm down.
Go back to fondling your monkeys and your bears and your elephants and your giraffes, okay? I think you were doing better there. That's more your intellectual group. You're right.
Someone
the
is
zoo
clipping
crew.
That, right?
Please, I hope so. Somebody.
Yes. So Ben, you're telling me that the church stopped the church from doing the Spanish Inquisition. How does that make sense?
The Spanish, do you understand? Like, I would like to teach you about your own history. Okay.
You cannot teach me jack shit, but okay.
Okay, so then fuck it. Fuck you, you fucking faggot.
I get more pussy than you.
Fuck
and
you.
Your father added together.
Wait. Why are you? Why are you so snide? He's just trying to have a conversation about colonialism.
He's not trying to have a conversation.
And he got super triggered. I mean,
you're triggered too. Why can't we just have a conversation? Why do you have to be
triggered?
Right?
Do you see me triggered? I'm
well,
smiling.
you told him he couldn't tell you jack shit.
Yeah. He couldn't teach me. I mean, he was puffing his chest. I will teach you.
How do you expect to have a conversation with people if you're just not even going to listen to what they have to say?
Grace, I am pretty chill. If you want to have a conversation, I am pretty chill in general. I just don't take bullshit from people like your dad.
Okay, but how is that bullshit? He was saying Uruguay It was a
is
colonial
fine.
project settled by European settlers.
Yeah.
And the basis of European culture is Christianity. I don't think any of that is
No,
bullshit.
that is wrong. That is incorrect.
What's wrong
Because
about
the
that?
basis of European culture is the whole intermixing, because you have the Islamic incursions into Spain, then you have the Norse kind of side of things. So European culture is a melting pot of a lot of other subcultures.
Okay, fine. There are subcultures, but the dominant culture was Christianity, and that was his main point.
Right.
Because
Your
Christianity
country-
forced themselves on every other country around them.
I don't think that's true, but even if you say that, so it's not bullshit to say that Uruguay was settled by Christian Europeans.
Yeah.
Why are you so offended
in the
by that?
in the 1800s, but we kicked you out. We kicked the Europeans out very quickly,
But you
and
say
then we
we-
did our own. We did our
Max.
own thing.
Max, you're whiter than me, and I'm white. You are of European descent.
I know, but I am
You
also.
So when
are.
you say
But I am
we
also-
kicked you out, you are the product of settlers, my friend.
Well, yeah, I can't escape that my family, but I am very connected to this land. So yes, my skin is white, but I am also Latino. Yo hablo español.
Sure, you speak Spanish. I agree, but you're not one of the indigenous peoples. So if you say we kicked
Well, no,
them
they
out,
killed them.
your
almost all
people
of them.
your people killed almost all of the indigenous peoples and settled that land. So
No,
you didn't
but-
kick
okay,
anyone out.
hold on.
You're the product of settlers, which
No,
is
hold
not
on.
your fault. Nobody's trying to blame you for that. But like
my
that's not
contention-
bullshit to
My
say.
contention with this is the fact that you're saying your people killed the indigenous. And maybe this is a stupid thought of me, but I would like to think that if I would have been with the conquistadors in the boat, and I would have seen a bunch of, people with just loincloths going about their life and yada yada with, sticks and stones, I would have said like, hey, we have guns, we have horses, we have cannons. Maybe we should not just kill these people.
Okay, that's fine to say. Maybe you would have, but why are you like? I don't understand why you seemed so triggered by history. Nobody's claiming you were there back in like the 1600s
I'm not
or
triggered
whatever.
by history.
But
No,
I mean,
what
it's
I-
just an
what I
objective
don't
fact that
think-
your people did that. Just like whatever. I'm somewhat English. English people killed Native Americans, and like it was like sort of a genocide. That was my people. I wouldn't be triggered by that. I wouldn't have to say, well, maybe I wouldn't have done that. Who knows what I would have done if I was born in the 1600s? Like, I don't know. But like, why are you like, you know what I mean?
Alpha Eagle says Max is not Latino, he's Hispanic. There's a huge difference. You are completely incorrect. I am part of Latin America, which means I am Latino. Sorry.
I don't know what the difference is. I thought Latinos had to be somewhat indigenous, whereas Hispanics were
No,
anybody
why?
who speaks
Wrong.
Spanish.
This is
Why?
where you're
Wrong.
from.
Where
It's
you can
geography.
be Latino, there's Latinos of all shapes and colors.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm an American. It doesn't mean I'm not European. Like of European descent.
Yeah, right. You can be part of more than group at the same time, more than one group at the same time. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you said, oh, your dad was talking bullshit, but like, so what he said was the dominant culture of Europe was Christianity, and Monkey Cat Pat Pat said, well, everybody was forced to be Christian. Whether that's true or not, it was the dominant culture. And those Christian settlers, European settlers, settled South America as well as North America. So I'm not understanding what the conflict is so far.
No, the conflict is that he tries to put the genocide of the indigenous people on me, and I don't really accept that.
No,
Because of
see,
what
you're
I told
making
you.
it
I think
personal.
if
You're making it
today we were
personal.
going to say, the army of Uruguay would go into genocide some other people, I would be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do genocide.
Nobody
kind of the
is
thing.
claiming that you genocided anyone, Max. You obviously didn't.
No, I
Were you-
understand that. And
Okay,
your
so-
father got triggered because I don't take bullshit from people. So when he said
Max,
when
you're
he
not
does
following.
his quips, like I'm going to teach you, it's like, yeah, no, you're not. You're not going to teach me anything.
Well, maybe if you had listened, you wouldn't have taken it so personally, because nobody's accusing you of
He
genocide.
could have given his argument without doing the quip, and we could have continued the conversation like you and I
But
are
you're
having right
reading
now.
a quip into it, which is that, hey, you're somewhat responsible for genocide. Nobody is
No.
claiming that.
The quip was, I'm going to teach you. And no, he's not going to teach me. Because
So
I do
nobody
know the
can.
history.
Okay, but okay. All right, so nobody can ever teach you anything? You just taught me something about what Latino versus Hispanic is. Did I say you're not going to teach me anything? No, because I'm trying to
No,
have a
it's
conversation.
not that no one can't teach me anything. It's that if you come here, and you puff up your chest, like this is my house. I don't take bullshit in my house. If you want to have a conversation like you and I are having right now, we can have a perfectly nice conversation. If you
I'm
want to
saying
puff
the
up your
same
chest
thing he did. I'm just a woman.
without the quips about teaching me shit, right? Like without the mistreatment and the looking down on me because he thinks that I'm less
Okay,
than
but
him because he's this
Max,
manly man and I have a thin voice.
this is just tone policing. You're saying I didn't like his tone. You're not saying you had a problem with the content of what he was saying. You're just tone policing.
You're not getting it.
You're
He
saying
got
the tone was
triggered.
disrespectful and you didn't
He
appreciate
told
that.
me, I'm going to teach you. He quipped, I quipped, your father is a very weak man. He couldn't handle it, and he rage quit. It's going to make a great clip, though.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad I joined. You guys discussing anything else?
Did you have anything, Grace, that you wanted to talk about? I think your dad brought up something, but we never got to it.
I don't.
Can I ask you one thing about the debate?
Yeah, sure.
How do you feel when your dad says that maybe we should go back to men being able to do a little love tap on women?
I feel proud. I literally support it. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's really helpful for women.
Because I didn't get
Why?
I didn't get my question answered during the debate. Okay, tell me when to stop. Like black eye, broken nose, broken ribs, broken wrist. I cut off your left tit.
Right. That's
where
a
you
little
stop
bit
me,
of
right?
a straw man. Because obviously
No.
nobody's saying that somebody's boobs should be cut off. We're not
Okay.
Somalis.
So that we go back one. Okay. Broken rib. I grab you and I twist your hand. I break your wrist. Is that fine? Is
Max,
that too much?
Do you really think that's a reasonable argument to make?
Yes.
You said love tap.
Yes, I would
Nobody
like to
talked about
know.
breaking
Yes,
ribs.
I would love to know what is the limit of, like, when should I stop beating you up?
I mean, I'm not here to say like generally I would obviously say generally when relationships start getting enforced through violence, it's generally not great. Even with kids, it shouldn't be excessive.
Wait, but you just said you were proud. You're contradicting yourself.
No, saying something shouldn't be excessive doesn't mean I don't think it should exist at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to gauge. What is excessive? So if I knee you on the ribs and I break your rib, is that okay?
Let me answer your question. There's a famous Sean Connery clip where he was interviewed by a woman and he said, look, I think that if a woman is being disrespectful over and over and over again, at a certain point she's asking for it, and to give her an open-handed slap across the face and like let her know not to treat you like that. And that's what he said, and I think that's a reasonable line to have.
Okay, so slap across the face is okay. What if I'm very, very angry because you when you were washing your clothes, you put some bleach stains on my favorite shirt, and instead of slapping you that day, I punch you in the face.
I would say
is that justified?
Excessive.
Not excessive?
I would say, generally speaking, a punch in the face for a laundry mistake is excessive, Max.
Oh, that's
everybody
excessive.
Would say that. Yes.
But a slap isn't.
Sometimes a slap is perfectly justified. Yeah.
How? When?
Well, here's the way I think about it. Men are bigger than women for a reason. Women should respect men. And if they don't, they might get a slap across the face. Yeah. They might get put in their place. We're smaller.
Huh.
We're weaker. We should be more respectful to maintain the, balance. I'm not. Let me ask you a question, Max. I'm not going to go up to some big, huge, tough guy in the street and start talking shit, am I? Right? Because he could hit me, right? There's a threat. There's an implicit threat. Men and women, there's always an implicit threat of physical violence. You could never, ever, ever touch a woman, ever. And I still would know that a man could hurt me if he wanted to. And I think women should be respectful of that. Welcome back, Dad.
Okay, so let's say now let's flip it around. You got super mad because I slapped you in the face. Now you're preparing my food. You poison me.
Dad,
is that
you're
justified?
Muted.
Is that?
No, Max. Poisoning someone is not justified.
How? Why?
Because I don't know what to tell you, Max. I'm not endorsing murder.
You don't want to do poison. Okay, let's not do poison. I scopolamine you and I cut off your pinky finger. Like, okay, the other way around. You scopolamine me, you cut off my pinky finger. Never slap me again, motherfucker. You tell me afterwards when I wake up and I'm bleeding. Is that justified?
Max, I'm sorry for calling you the F
to the
slur.
panel.
I'm sorry for that. That's inappropriate.
Nah, it's okay. I get more pussy than you, so it's fine.
Yes, I'm sure. All the bottom feet, all the dregs on the bottom. Now, Max, you have to realize the basic principle of law is that, of course, there's always going to be a line. There's always going to be a line. And you could say, well, does this cross the line or does this cross the line? I mean, this is just like a basic precept of law. No?
Yeah. What I'm trying to see,
so this is not unique.
The line is.
Okay, so do you believe that parents should never hit their children?
Yeah.
Okay, but you realize that's an extremely that's an extreme view.
I know, and
okay.
To be completely honest, there's a conflict in me because I have received a couple of spankings in my life, 100% deserved.
I'll be right back.
And I think that one of the reasons why I'm not a fucking criminal is because I believe I got a spanking when a spanking was merited. Right?
Okay. All right. So you would say corporal punishment is...
In the most extreme of cases, but I'm not talking about grabbing your kid and punching it in the face. I'm talking about, a little bit of a slap in the butt, right?
Okay, right. But you're saying there's a line, but that it's kind of intuitive. It can be excessive. I agree. Of course, no one's going to think that you should execute your children if they take cookies from the cookie jar. But on the other hand, you don't think that parents should be thrown into jail if they calmly punish their children at times using, and anyone would say in certain circumstances, if the kid's going to fall off a cliff, you should absolutely use whatever means you need to protect them, right? Tackle them, whatever, to save their life.
Right. There are some cases in which violence is justified. What I think is that I wouldn't put someone in jail unless they went they fought their children. What I think is that we can encourage other ways of discipline more.
Okay, fine. Yeah, and I basically think that let's say parents who are using a lot of corporal punishment on their kids, usually that's not a good parent.
Right.
Usually, and this is true in a traditional culture because I know there are traditional people there. Usually there's the threat of violence, and one or two times that the kid experiences that, then they respect the parent, and the parent doesn't subsequently need to use it. That's generally how it works.
Seems to me like it's a failing of if you have to resort to violence, that means that you're not able to use other tools effectively. That becomes your last resort, right?
Well, but how does society work? What is the last resort if the police are in a situation? Don't they use violence?
Violence, not to in what scenario? I mean, they use violence to stop something. Violence to towards
is arresting someone an act of violence against that person?
It's a consequence. Well, is it to prevent that
Is
person
it an act
from?
of violence? Cat, this is the problem. You just have to, like, I don't know. If you ask me a question, I'll answer it. But like, can you answer the question? Taking a person, man or a woman, and putting them in handcuffs and forcing them in a car and putting them in a jail cell, is that violence?
I mean, I don't know if it's violence because it's
You
forced.
can't
It's
answer
like a
that
forced.
question. It
Well, because
is.
it's
It
no, but
is.
you're not
It's
causing pain.
violence.
It's violence if you're causing physical pain. So it depends. So if
What is the
if they
definition
just
of violence? What is the definition of violence in your opinion?
Oh, there's like 10 definitions of violence.
yeah, I mean, I
Violence
guess
is
I
the
would have defined.
privation of someone's physical autonomy, right?
Autonomy?
That's
Okay, that would
it's
be a very
violence.
different. Well,
Okay, so
that's-
Kat, I'm going to drive down to where you are, and I'm going to not experience violence, but I'm going to put you in a cell and lock the door of the cell. And then you can't say that that was violent. I'm going to put you in handcuffs. I'm going to put you in my car, and I'm going to put you in a cell that I lock. And that's not violence against you, right? That's how it works. Because you're so rot-brained that you can't listen to a man. Of course, that would be violent, Kat. That would be a violent offense, a violent crime. No?
it would be a violent crime because I wouldn't go willingly, right? So then you would have to use force. So if you're using force, then
Oh,
it's
people
violence.
get arrested because they want to go to jail?
No, people
What are
don't
you
go.
talking about?
It's just that
It's
you
an act
come up
of
with this
violence. Can we just
different.
use Max, can you
hold
help me?
on.
It's an act of violence. Come on. Can you help
You've
me?
just used. You just well by the definition that you've given of violence, it's an act of violence.
Well, would it be a violent crime if I went, took handcuffs, put you in handcuffs, forced you to be in my car, drove to a
Yes,
cell,
yes,
put
it
you
would be
in the
an act of
cell,
violence.
and locked the cell? It's
Sure,
an
it
act
would
of
be an act
violence.
of
It would be a
violence.
violent crime. So police are using violence. It's not a crime, but they're using violence. So if you say,
Force.
well, shouldn't we in society come up with a better way? And like, well, it's a last resort, right? Okay. So same thing with parents using violence. Shouldn't be the first thing you go to. Very rare that parents don't
But there is a difference.
first
Wait,
yell at
but there
their
is a
kids or warn
distinction
their kids
between
or discuss things
taking
with
your
their kids.
Like if you're taking your kid and you're pushing them into a corner, for example, right? You're using force, but you're not necessarily using violence. You're not hitting them. You're not causing them physical pain. You are limiting their autonomy. Yes. Those
Yes,
are
there are
I do
different
think
types
those
of
are
violence. You can
distinctions.
use knives, whips, chains. You can use the privation of movement. You can put someone in a tight situation. I mean, what? Like
But I
this
guess
is the
what gives
news
you the
here.
right? Okay, let's say it's violence. What right do you have as a parent to use violence on your child?
The same right that the police have to use violence on adults. The authority, you are the authorities in a situation.
The problem here. Oh, sorry, Kat. Do you want to answer?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But the problem here is that in general we have codified the laws, and when the police exercise the monopoly of violence we have in the adult world, is because someone did something that we deem shouldn't be done. Now,
Right. So yes.
that is codified. It's not the will of a person. It's the will and our legal understanding of the society at that moment. It's
Right.
an intersubjective thing. Now, when the parent, that is just like the will of the parent. Like I told you to do your homework. Fa! Slap them in the face. Like
Okay, so you're saying the difference between law enforcement using their authority and parents using their authority is that parents don't have a codified law book. That's
yeah,
true.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. It doesn't matter. No one thinks that parents should have a codified law book that they and like a Supreme Court in their house. It doesn't. It couldn't possibly work that way.
How would we distinguish between like abuse versus, casual, like not casual, but like, disciplining, let's say?
How would who distinguish that?
The court, because we do take away children, for example, or jail parents if they have been
Yes,
abusive.
right.
Even
There
back when
there have always been laws that if certain things get out of hand in the house that the state then exercises authority instead of the father of the house. That's right. But underneath that threshold, the father is considered to be the authority in healthy societies. And it's no fun to be in I don't know what the thing is, like all you internet people think like that it's fun to be an authority. Have you ever been in authority? It's very difficult to be an authority.
Yeah, but I'm not saying authority. I'm saying like if for example, there is a difference between a parent disciplining a child, right? Like, slapping a kid because they did something dangerous, right? And you're like, don't do that again. Okay.
Yeah.
Versus like a parent actually abusing their kids, like constantly hitting them, just diminishing them. They say the wrong
Let me give you an
thing
example.
and
Let me
they
see
hit
if you
them.
follow this example. I have a job in which I don't like my boss. My boss drives me crazy all day. I come home at night and I take it out on my kids. That's obviously abuse, right? I think anyone would say that's abuse. If you take out your frustrations with your boss on your kids, that's abuse. Okay, but what's the difference if you do it verbally as opposed to physically? It's still abuse.
Would you call would you say that you can commit like verbal violence? I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of time as a kid, I would almost always prefer, instead of like a 3-day guilt trip, just to get smacked. I mean, most kids would prefer just like some, way to just say like, okay, can this be over with? And I get punished instead of this like weeks long sort of like, which I think women are specialists in that sort of punishment. It can be that psychological violence or psychological abuse is far more damaging than physical abuse. Right? So parents can abuse kids. State actors, police can abuse citizens. It happens a lot. It's called life. It's called life.
No, police can't abuse people. Police have the specific permission to punish certain behaviors like stealing or putting someone else in danger. So the framing there was incorrect.
Police cannot abuse their authority. Okay.
No, they are held to the same standard as criminals if like police brutality is a thing, right?
Right. So yes, they're held to standards, but can they get away with things? Do you think the conquistadors, they had laws, I'm sure? Did they abuse the laws? Did the Spanish?
No, they didn't abuse them because that is specifically in the law. You seem to want to whitewash your religion. And
there were no laws?
There
were no laws? It's not my religion. I'm not Spanish. I'm saying Spanish civilization. The civilization, which was of your ancestors,
so now
had laws.
Now you contradicted yourself because you started by saying that Spanish culture was mostly dominated by Christianity, and now you're separating them. Good job.
I am separating them.
Oh, so Spanish culture and European culture was not mainly Christian?
It was Christian, and it had other elements.
Yourself?
Are you saying that are you saying that my claim is that every European was a saint? No. Or a priest? No. A member of the clergy? No. A lot of European. What I'm saying is their mentality was Christian. Their worldview was Christian.
Yeah. And
like all Christian, here's a news flash for you. Some Christians who are raised Christian don't behave in a Christian way. Is that a news flash for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, now let me ask you another question.
Now we go into the no true Scotsman fallacy. Lovely. Contradiction.
You don't know what fallacies are. You don't know what fallacies
isn't
are.
That adorable? You're spiraling.
Now let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with Pope Francis?
Francis, yeah.
Okay. So he was. Would you say that he's Catholic?
Yeah, he was the fucking Pope.
Right, he's the Pope. So like ultra Catholic, right? Okay, so do you see him as oppressing the people of South America? One of which he was, like you. He was a white South American, correct? From Argentina.
Yeah.
Okay, so was he or was he not a champion of the rights of poor and indigenous people in South America?
Yeah.
Okay, who was a greater champion? than him of those people and their rights? No one.
Well, no, there's many
Okay,
people that
so
do
then if you
actually
say
do real work.
Catholicism, I know what Catholicism is. Why don't you open your fucking eyes and look at how the most Catholic person on the planet in your time treated poor and indigenous people? Why is that not
There's people
relevant?
that do actual
There was a
work.
Catholic in 1422 who
Are
was
you
very,
going-
very bad to the indigenous people.
Oh, Ben, you're
But he wasn't the Pope, was he?
You're spiraling again, Ben. Calm down. Put that ointment in the hemorrhoids. It's going to be fine. So, what I was trying to tell you is that you want to divorce whenever it suits you. And you did this all out in the debate because you called out like, oh, I have statistics. But then when we put statistics, it's like, yeah, no, those are just numbers. So you have a lovely habit of contradicting yourself. What I was
It's
trying
not
to tell
contradicting.
you, what I was trying to tell you.
Wait. Let's go back to the true Scotsman. How is it a true Scotsman fallacy
No
to say that
true Scotsman.
Catholics,
And I am the one that doesn't know fallacies. Oh,
I get it.
my fucking
I get it.
God.
How is it the no true Scotsman fallacy?
You did
to say that a lot. Hold
no
on, just let me
true
finish my
Scotsman.
sentence. I understand you have daddy issues. Let me finish
I
my
don't.
sentence. Yeah, right. Okay. So then let me finish my sentence.
How is
it a neutral? How is it? Okay. You're proving that you have daddy issues. You have
I don't.
unbelievable daddy issues. So then let me say a sentence without interrupting me. Okay. How is it a no true Scotsman fallacy to say that while many people who were raised Christian, who identified as Catholic, that they were both raised and believed in the basic worldview, but did not adhere to it? How is that a no true Scotsman fallacy?
That is the definition of a no true Scotsman, because those people identify as Christians, and because you want to divorce yourself from what Christianity actually is, then you say, "Oh no, those are not true
all right.
Christians."
Tell me what
When
the no true
conquistador-
Scotsman fallacy is. Tell me what the no true Scotsman fallacy is.
Exactly that.
No. Tell me in general terms what the no true Scotsman fallacy is.
When you're trying to divorce a group from another group because of arbitrary things.
No, the no true Scotsman fallacy would be like illustrated by saying communism is great, and then every actual example of communism is a total failure, which you've done here on this panel, right? But you're saying, well, we haven't really tried communism yet, right? That's the no true Scotsman fallacy.
I never said any of that.
No,
well, that would be the no
He's
true
not saying
Scotsman
you said
fallacy.
that. He's not saying you said that. He's trying to illustrate what the fallacy
but that
is.
is
Christianity has never claimed that everyone who makes the sign of the cross is a perfect person. Never claimed that. No,
I never claimed that either. But what you are trying to do,
you're saying that there were Catholics who
I need you
didn't
to let me
perfectly
finish my
practice,
sentence.
who didn't
I need you
perfectly
to let
practice.
me
Sure,
finish
go
my
ahead. Go ahead.
sentence. What you're trying to do is that you're trying now. I think that your next move is you're trying to divorce the conquistadors and the Inquisition and the Crusades, all of those that went around killing and raping and pillaging in the name of Christianity. Those were not true Christians. Christianity is good.
You have to understand, like, so you said Pope Francis is Catholic as far as you understand. He's the Pope.
Yeah.
He has said that a lot of things that occurred at that time were unjust. And Catholics generally agree with him.
Yeah.
And there were Catholics at the time. Look up someone. If you want to know who the true Scotsman for Catholics is, it's the saints, right? That's who we say, these are the real Catholics. Find me a Catholic saint who went around raping and pillaging indigenous people. You won't. You will find someone like...
Hold on.
Let me just finish my sentence.
Like Mother Teresa.
Let me give you...
She didn't rape people, but she was pretty bad.
She was a bad person.
Let me give you an example. Saint Bartholomew de la Casa. You should read him up. Bartolomeo de las Casas is a Catholic saint who largely criticized, but he couldn't do much about it because he was a monk. He criticized the treatment of indigenous people at the time when no one else was doing that. Okay? He was a saint of the church. Okay.
Right.
So okay,
One.
Ben, what is a saint?
No,
What
if you want to start
qualifies-
attacking Mother Teresa, you are out of your mind. What's next?
No, let's
Ben,
fucking go.
Let's go.
Mother
I'll talk about
Teresa
Mother Teresa all
was
day.
absolutely a saint. Absolutely a saint.
No,
Yes.
What
she was a
qualifies-
fucking-
That's a true
monkey,
Scotsman
monkey,
fallacy.
monkey,
If you
hold
want
on.
to,
Hold on.
attack Mother Teresa, I
Yes,
have no
she
problem.
was a fucking bitch. She was the worst. She made people suffer on purpose, amassed extreme amounts of wealth, and didn't put it back into
Wrong. Both counts.
No,
wrong.
you're lying now.
Okay.
You're
Well,
just
give
ignorant,
me your. You're doing. You got internet brain. Okay, tell me how Mother Teresa. I know the story of Mother Teresa
She
very
made
well.
a cult of suffering.
Let me. Okay, so you're saying she caused people suffering.
No, she made a cult of suffering. She wouldn't give people medication. She wouldn't give people the care that they needed. She just left them there to die, and that they would be redeemed by their suffering. Mother Teresa was a fucking demon.
Can I respond to that? Let me respond to that really quickly. Do you understand? Mother Teresa did not run hospitals. She ran hospices, which is where people go to die.
Yes.
So her not providing medical care, she never claimed to be a doctor.
She had no problem
she did not
with hospitals
run hospitals
and medical care. She just, it was not her calling.
All she provided
didn't
was
have
care
the resources to
for
do that.
those who were dying. That's what a hospice
that's
is.
a story. That's a story. The problem is that we can get the conditions in. We have many eyewitness testimony that the conditions in those places were of misery, and that it was basically. There's one that basically portrays it as like going into like actual hell because of the smell, the lack of food, the lack of any kind of amenity for people in a dying situation. And,
Okay. What was
not
their
giving
situation
medication
prior?
and so on.
What was their situation prior to them going to the hospice? Where were they? Where did she find these people?
Oh yeah, in the street or whatever. But
In the
nothing
streets,
changed.
dying alone. Yes.
And these people were rejected
So-
generally by the hospitals.
and
They
be-
were rejected by the hospitals.
And because of the Indian culture that, you have this caste system, a lot of them were seen as untouchables, and they were left to die in the gutters and the sewers of Calcutta. And the great crime that she committed, according to you, is that she didn't fly them to a first world country and provide them with first world hospital care.
No, you're now
Guilty.
Guilty. You just
Fucking
lied.
asshole. You're such a
just
fucking
lied
asshole.
again.
You're such an internet brained liar.
You just lied again about what I said. I didn't say that was it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link here to some of more than one actually about the actual story of this fucking demon that was Mother Teresa.
Okay, do you ever read stories that aren't hostile to her? Because
Yes.
like
Yes,
I understand.
I've read all
Okay.
the fairy tales.
Yes,
The
we
same
grew
way that
up-
I've
Okay,
read the Bible.
okay, they're
that's the way
fair,
I
but they're
believe.
fairy tales if
not.
they don't agree with your insane takes.
No, because
Okay,
I
so-
can actually see for myself. What
So
the
okay,
fuck
so but
happened.
you would okay, we can start with this. You admit that these people, so you're not going to say that they were captured from mansions where they were living happily and brought to a hell where a cult of suffering, right? They were, a lot of them were lepers. They were largely left into the incredibly unsanitary conditions of streets in Calcutta, which were filled with sewage, garbage, and all the rest. She made their lives better by bringing them to where they were taken care of. Okay, so
No,
okay.
that's the contention, that she didn't make anyone's lives better. They went
So,
from a
is it-
shitty
okay.
situation in the street to a shitty situation in the hospice where
Okay,
they
so-
weren't given medicine. They were told that their suffering was what was going to redeem, and that is just fucking appalling. Because
No, that's
this
true.
is what
That's
religion does
that's
to people.
Christianity for all of us. Suffering is a gift. That's
Yeah, because
all
you're
Christians.
psychopaths.
Yeah,
No,
you're
no.
crazy. You're a crazy
No.
man.
When you look in the mirror and you see your bald head and your bad facial hair and your crazy voice, that is a gift. You shouldn't off yourself. You should stay here with us because it's somehow, I don't know how, but it's up for you to find out how. That's actually a gift. that you're an ugly person who sounds like a cartoon.
Oh,
You
okay.
need to find.
Is that all you have?
Yeah, because he has nothing.
You
All he's
have
gonna
no
do is
argument.
attack men.
Monkey,
You
get
have-
back in the zoo.
You have no argument, you crazy psychopath.
Suffering,
I sent James an email.
Look, Max,
I want,
Max.
You have a master's degree in theology, right?
Yeah, that's right. You've
I
done
want
some
to
studying, haven't you?
I want to end your career. Would you debate me on the Bible?
Yes, I would, but you're not a very good debater.
You're going to have to lose you're going to lose your master's degree.
You're a lousy debater, but like
Max, what would the debate be about?
I have literally been schooling you since 9 p.m., buddy.
What would the debate be about?
In your mind.
What does debating the Bible mean? Debating what is in the
whatever. You can choose. Did the resurrection happen? Does God exist? Is the Bible true? Yada yada.
But you don't really engage. You don't really engage intellectually, which is fine. I don't care. Fine, we'll set it up.
Buddy, want to take an IQ test head to head with me? See who's smarter?
Max, why does no one watch your channel? Why does no one watch your channel?
A lot of us watch his channel.
Wow.
How long have you been at this? All right, just let me ask you this. How long have you been at
6 months.
Okay,
this channel
all right,
is 6 months old.
Okay, so that's decent. Okay, I'll give you credit. I think you're a funny guy. I think you're an interesting guy. I don't mind debating. But I would just like to pursue this. I don't think we're that far apart necessarily. But are you trying to make the argument that life doesn't, like, that we all don't have to wrestle in some way with suffering? Life doesn't contain suffering?
Yes.
Okay.
What
okay.
I'm not
So suffering occurs,
I'm
right?
Saying, suffering occurs. Yeah. What I'm actually my contention with Mother Teresa is the glorification of suffering.
Yes, you can say she glorified suffering, right? As you know, because you live in a Catholic country, though you don't admit it.
Not a Catholic
I'm sure
country.
you've seen. I'm sure you've seen a crucifix, right? Do you know what a crucifix is?
Yeah.
Okay, is that a glorification of suffering?
In a sense, yes, but it's
obviously,
a myth.
Obviously,
it's a myth. It's a myth. So I don't care.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, for you to say, I love Pope Francis, but I hate Mother Teresa because she glorified suffering.
I didn't say I love Pope Francis.
Pope Francis glorified the suffering.
Again.
Okay, or whatever. He's like not as bad, right? Pope Francis glorified suffering every day when he looked upon our Lord hanging on the cross. Okay, that's a fair criticism, but it's not particular to Mother Teresa. All Christians glorify the suffering of our Lord Jesus Christ. And we hope one day to suffer, to be worthy of the suffering that he experienced on the cross. That doesn't mean that we don't think like it sucks to catch a cold or to get a disease or that children are, hungry. But like, that's fair. But okay, what is your solution to the problem of suffering?
To the problem of suffering.
What would you say?
Not glorify it.
What would you? Hold on a minute. Let's just say you felt the calling. I'm not saying you do, like Mother Teresa, to help people who were neglected, dying alone on the streets of Calcutta. What is your solution? Since she's a demon for saying that God has given you the gift of suffering and you should embrace it. And it's very difficult to do so. What's your answer?
You give them medicine. You give them you actually do medical stuff. Not just sit there and leave them to die in a bed.
But she wasn't a doctor. She was not a doctor. Max, she wasn't a doctor.
Max,
let me ask you.
While you rake in millions of dollars of donations and you do not spend it in the thing that you're there. She doesn't have to be a doctor. She was raking in millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in donations.
What was she doing with the money?
Nothing. I have no idea what she spent it on, but she
no. I'll give you your ammo, Max. Mother Teresa would spend a lot of money making sure that the chapel for the nuns, and which everyone was welcome to, had very beautiful, sometimes gold-plated tabernacle to hold the Holy Eucharist in. She believed in spending money on that. That's right. Okay, so in your mind, she's evil, but I think you understand. If you look around the streets of Paraguay, you'll see beautiful churches that your evil ancestors put up, where they spent a lot of time, energy, and resources because the evil monster Catholics wanted to glorify God, just like Mother Teresa. Right? Isn't that true? Aren't there churches there?
Ben.
Yeah,
Ben.
there are churches here, but
Okay,
I'm from
so that's
I'm from
religious
Uruguay.
people do that.
I'm from Uruguay, not Paraguay. The problem is if you're spending in gold plating when you should be spending it on heroin, on gauzes, on beds, while you have people
Right.
in mattresses on the floor
Right.
among rats and among
Right.
infections
Right.
and with
Right.
the stench of pus in the
Right.
air, then
And
you are a
hold on a
fucking
minute.
evil person. And if you
Okay,
defend that, you are evil too.
So you agree with Judas? Judas, remember the woman who put expensive incense on our Lord's feet, and she washed his feet with her hair. And Judas, like you, said, "No, take that money, that incense, sell it, and give it to the poor." Right? That's what Judas, like people like you, would say. Now, Christians would say, "Yes, we should take care of the poor." And let me guess who takes care of the poor in Uruguay? The Catholic Church, right?
No.
Not atheists. Not atheists.
Wrong.
The Catholic
That's-
Church.
that's
You
wrong.
know that's
That is
true.
completely
You know
wrong.
that's true.
No.
You're just a liar.
No.
You know that the people who are out there.
No. So what happens here in Uruguay is that the Catholic Church, you're triggered. It's okay. Put the ointment in the hemorrhoids. Put a little finger in. It might calm you down. Shut the fuck up.
Max, come on,
You're
unmute
not
him.
going-
Let's have a conversation.
You're not
Come
going.
on.
Yeah, but he's not going to lecture me on my.
You just don't like the
country.
truth. You know it's
No.
true
In
that there are
Uruguay-
Catholic nuns and
In Uruguay, there are 45% atheists.
All right, let
and
him
there are
say his thing.
45% Catholics. What happens is
Yes,
that
Max.
every once in a while, the Archbishop of Montevideo is crying for people to go back to the church because they're running out of money. Because people don't go to church. Because we don't have raging Christians like this guy here. We are even believers here are half believers. They're not fundamentalists. They're not like this guy.
Okay, let's do some research here. Grace, you can do some research. I'm sure there are hospitals in Uruguay, right? Who founded, my guess is almost every one of these hospitals. Who founded them? Who were they founded by? You can either tell the truth or we can look it up, Max.
Look it up because I have no idea.
A lot
Okay.
of churches have crosses on them. Yes. Okay. Whatever. Go on.
The first hospitals in Uruguay were founded primarily by Catholic religious orders.
Yeah, so did the university. But the problem is that for a while you were the dominant cultural force because you went around killing everyone.
The hospital system in Uruguay was founded primarily by Fray Francisco Antonio Maciel and the Brotherhood of Charity in the late 18th century.
So did Mother Teresa go around killing everyone in India? Were you that fantasy prone?
Ben,
No, I
Ben,
didn't say that, dummy.
Okay. Do you
Never
know the
say
order that she was a part of before she went and did this evil thing of picking up dying people and giving them a place where they could die while being cared for in the presence of those who loved them?
Ben, that's the problem. They weren't.
She was
being
part of a
cared for.
teaching order, right? She was
Ben,
part of
can
a
I ask
teaching
you a
order.
question?
They wouldn't give them morphine. They wouldn't give him any kind of painkillers. They wouldn't give because she was glorifying their suffering, and that's the point.
Yeah, Ben. Can I ask you a
Mother
solid question?
Mother Teresa and Catholicism, I take it, do not believe in pain medicine.
She didn't. I know for a fact that she didn't.
No,
because
that's
not giving them morphine
Okay,
was
we'll look
a
that up.
very big deal.
But what if she didn't have the resources to give
She
them
was
morphine?
raking millions of dollars in donations, buddy.
Okay, so Mother Teresa has millions of dollars. When she died, where did they go?
I mean, who knows what you
Okay,
people do
right.
with
Here's
the
the thing.
money that you take
Here's
from
the thing,
people.
Max, you're just uninformed.
Where would it go?
No.
Where
When-
did she
when-
spend
when-
her life in
guys,
penury, you moron?
When Mother Teresa was operating in India, the Indian government had a suppression of opium, which was the common man's painkiller. It was very hard to get. She used a weak analgesic, I don't know how to say that, acetaminophen. Analgesic. But the lack of painkillers was due to India's prohibition of opium, we all know that
That's a whitewash
opiates are painkillers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you won't admit you're
So-
wrong. This is why you have daddy issues. Could you have been wrong about that?
Issues, Dumbo. I
Maybe
could
you're
be
wrong.
about
Maybe
pretty
you're
much
wrong about that.
I could be
The
wrong
number
about pretty
one,
much
the number one
everything.
sign of daddy
But
issues, you
in
can't admit when
all
you're
of
wrong.
in all of the reports that are not trying to paint her in the light that, oh, she was the greatest, everyone that criticizes from different points of view, they say the same thing, that she would not give people painkillers because she was glorifying suffering. Jack Feder says, for $9.99, this is what's wrong with debates. I've been watching for 30 minutes and I can tell what, if any, argument Ben supports. He's debating to win some specific point, it seems. Please fucking make it. Thank you so much, Jack.
Go jerk yourself off, Max. You made $10. Look at you.
Well, I like
I mean,
that.
How
Better
can
question
you
here.
shit on her for
I
not
made
giving
the
more?
point that
How
you
can
are.
you?
You're not telling the truth about Mother Teresa, and you go,
I
well,
am
all
telling the
all
truth.
of the anti-Mother Teresa, all of the atheists, all of the.
Yeah, you're spiraling again, dummy. Do
Max,
you have
how-
anything other
wait.
than criticizing my voice? Because it's getting old. It's like 4 a.m. for me. So
Max, but
Ben,
can you
if
just
you have nothing else other than that, I'll just set up. We'll just set up a debate on the Bible. I'll destroy your career on that topic, and then I'll go about my day. And yes,
Career
I made
destroyed.
$10. I made $10, but $10 goes a long way down here, buddy. You know how much hookers and blow I can get for $10?
Max.
Yeah.
Can we agree that if morphine and prescription level painkillers were extremely highly regulated in India during the time that Mother Teresa was working there, that it's not her fault she couldn't provide that to the people at her hospices? Is that fair to say?
That would be fair to say if she hadn't been raking in millions of dollars, and if she could have basically, with that money, hired, imported, or done whatever to actually provide that. So it's
But
not
how
really
do you
an
know that?
impediment. It's just
You can have as much money as you want, and you can't get illegal stuff sometimes. It's illegal.
You're saying Mother Teresa, okay, the Sisters of Mercy have hundreds of millions of dollars somewhere. They all live in
100%.
utter poverty, right? They all live in utter poverty. There's no Shangri-La for these Sisters of Mercy. They insist on living in impoverished conditions so that they can experience what the poor who they serve experience. So they will be given a building. They will remove the beds. They will remove the heat. They will remove the comforts so that the sisters experience the same poverty of those they're serving. So, yes, they receive a lot of donations. It costs a lot of money to run an organization. You probably also think that the Vatican has billions and trillions and zillions of dollars.
They do.
Okay.
They do.
Okay, they do. And you know how that mostly is calculated? They own St. Peter's Basilica. That's owned by the Vatican. What price?
They have
What value
like
do you think?
cash.
What value do you think St. Peter's Basilica has? Could you put a price on it?
It's a
No.
fucking building.
Right.
Couldn't care
Okay,
less.
but-
That's not what when they say that the Vatican has money.
You're
that's
lying.
not
You're
what
lying.
They mean.
The
You
church
know very
operates-
well that the Vatican has shit ton of
No,
gold,
it's a lie.
silver,
No.
jewels,
No.
and everything in their vaults. You are
Yes,
Investments.
of course, they have priceless treasures of artwork. You
No,
can't.
no.
They're not going to
like,
sell the
bars of
Sistine
gold.
Chapel. You fucking idiot.
That's not what I'm telling you. They have like literal.
Well, that's
gold,
what you're.
cash,
That's
and
what
money.
idiots like you think.
Surrender
They think-
money for £10. Says have another 10. Fucking those are pounds. Oh yeah, let's go.
That's right. Ejaculate. Jerk yourself off again and tell yourself that you're the real. You really care about the poor. When's the last time you went and served the poor in Uruguay?
Oh,
When's the last time you had
I
billions
am
of dollars?
I am the poor.
Next.
Oh,
When's the last time you had
Right.
billions?
Never is the
I
answer is
have
never.
millions,
You
but
sit
I
on the
lost
internet
them.
yelling
Right.
at Christians.
Come on, guys.
Whose church are the ones who are serving the poor in Uruguay. It's a crazy.
Mhm.
That's
No,
what all
you're not.
asshole
No,
atheists.
you're not.
That's
You're-
what
no, you're
asshole
not.
atheists do. They
No,
go on
you're
the
not.
internet
Do
to
you
yell at
wanna
Christians, while
know?
Christians don't.
Do you want to know what the Catholic Church does here to people for people to give them a plate of food? You have to sit down through a whole fucking mass and then they will feed you. So no, you don't do charity. You're fucking assholes.
Dude, and also, can I ask?
Oh,
can I
you
ask,
have to endure mass to get a meal. How is that like?
No, you don't have to
torture?
endure
What are you
mass.
talking
Mother
about?
Teresa didn't force anyone to go to mass. She didn't even try to
I didn't
convert
say
them.
I
He said
wasn't
in
He's
talking
saying
Uruguay.
that's what happens in
We
Uruguay.
were talking about you. Please keep up. Come on, wake up, wake up.
So
I
if
know
you
that
went to
it's
your local
time for
parish
your
priest in the
bedtime.
state you're in and you needed help, you don't think the parish priest would help you? He would.
No chance.
Max, can I ask you a question? I'd like to know a little bit more about you. Were you raised Catholic?
No,
What were you raised?
I was.
nothing. I've been an atheist since I'm 5 years old.
Well, okay, what are your parents?
My father is an atheist. My mother is like pretty much the vast majority of believers. My mom believes in God, but doesn't go to church and doesn't really care too much about anything. She's like, I call her a half believer.
Mm.
I started looking into religion when, I became an atheist at 5 because I went to a kindergarten attached to a Catholic school. And when the nun first, I remember one of the first memories I have is the nun talking to me about God and how that made no sense. I talked to my mother and she went to that same school. She gave me the same spiel, didn't buy it. Talked to my father. My father explained why he didn't believe. That was it. Until I went to high school. And I started seeing people wearing crosses, people wearing Stars of David, and so on. So I was like, these people. I'm sorry, I'm talking. So these people believe in a higher power. I wonder why it is that I don't believe. And I read the Bible and I confirmed that, like, oh yeah, I don't believe this.
You read the Bible all the way through, or you just skim?
Yeah, I've read the Bible more than once. Ben, I know the Bible. Yeah.
Okay. So
Christians
let me
avoid
ask
me
you this.
because I know the Bible. You know that I know the Bible.
Oh, yes. You're the fear of all Christians. Yes.
No,
I don't know
not all
how anyone could
Christians, but-
possibly approach you. You're so intimidating
No, I
intellectually.
didn't say all Christians. I said,
So
yeah, Christians
let me
have a
ask you
hard time
this.
talking to
Let
me.
me ask you this question. You agree that we all experience suffering, some of us much more so than others? Correct?
Yeah, so?
Okay. Well, what is yours? How do you make sense of that?
Of what? How does my world
Suffering.
make sense of suffering?
Yes.
Shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens, bud.
Don't call me
I
Bud
mean-
Monkey. Go fuck another monkey in that zoo.
Well, you got a
Don't
problem.
call me
I don't know if
Bud.
like
You're
got a problem
so
with me, man.
triggered. Like, why don't you pray for, I don't know,
Okay,
some patience, some
Max,
manners?
just relax. Okay, yeah, I don't need your mother talk. Okay, listen. So if there's a little child,
No, you would have
who
needed your mother
experiences-
to talk to you. You wouldn't be such an asshole.
my mother is the worst. But anyways, we won't
Yeah,
get into it.
I
Your
can
mother's
tell.
a whore. My mother, yeah. All right, it's fine. with
You
me,
know
I
that
agree.
was a joke, right?
About your mother?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't kidding. I do have a relationship with her, and it's brutal.
No, you don't. Ben, whenever you go down that route, the only thing that you inform us is that you are very insecure about the size of
Oh
your
my
penis, which is
God.
fine.
Max, we're
But
just kidding
you're just
around. Men joke
compensating.
around. Obviously, I don't
Yeah.
fly down to Uruguay and anally rape your mother every night. Obviously.
Well, I mean, you are Christian. You shouldn't be doing anal. That's sodomy.
That is. And hey, Ben, you do understand that your mother got horny.
well,
once,
tell
and
your
that's
mother about
sex,
it because she loves it.
and that's why you're. That's why
My
all-
mom, I
all of
know
us
she
are here.
loves it. Yeah, it's not a problem. I don't care.
Right. She's open. I like that about her.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
It's fucked up.
I told you in the debate in South America, there's a big like women here will fuck you and they will dehydrate you, buddy. You wouldn't stand a weekend down here partying with me. You would literally die.
I'm sure. I have heard that South American Catholic girls will use like anal as.
What is French for deliciously depraved? Oh,
Will
yes.
will Will, actually you might be interested because I know that you just see stereotypes when you see people. But my daughter is actually doing a debate soon, and she's arguing that because of modern dating, that Christian girls should, in fact, help their boyfriends if you're going to be together, that they should, engage in acts of what we would call sodomy.
I've heard that before in that debate with that.
Emmett.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was Emmett.
Yeah, he came on and he got fucking destroyed and he got so triggered. It was fucking hilarious.
So there was another guy who wanted to try to debate it again.
So
and you're right that here in America.
Your argument is premarital sex is bad, sodomy is good?
No,
Love it.
What my argument is that
what
or what our argument is that because modern dating is it's sort of unnatural. It used to be that it would be short, you'd make a decision, then you get married. But because it goes on for years, that it puts men in a position, and women too, but mostly men in a position that's really unfair to them. But if we're going to do that females should not, I don't know if you know the term, blue ball, like men for like 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And pretend that's Christian. It's not really Christian to do that. It's anti-sexual. It's anti-masculine.
Like this makes no sense. You have no biblical justification for any of that. Like you're literally proud of cherry picking your beliefs. That is just asinine. I'm fornicated for $10. Have some more hookers and blow. Christian perk cultures are insufferable. You're going to need this after this dumpster fire. Thank you so much, Dan.
Yes, I'm sure that prostitutes and cocaine is what you will engage in after talking with me, because that's what happens when you talk to a man who is right when you have daddy issues.
No, you make us very
none of that is true.
Yes, because you're a bitch. Because you're a bitch.
I joke around because like hookers, prostitution is legal in my country, and blow is really cheap because we are a transit country.
That's how your mother. That's how your mother made it.
My mother never
as long
did
as she
drugs
has
a single day in her life.
No, but she's a hooker. She's a prostitute.
She actually wanted to smoke weed with me on my 18th birthday, and I said no. So yeah, and Dan for $5 says, remind the Christians it's 2 in the thoughts, 1 in the prayers.
I don't know what that means.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Your mom wanted to smoke weed with you on your 18th birthday?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
Because by that time I had been.
There's everything wrong with that.
I started smoking weed.
A little unhealthy.
I started smoking weed at 14. And they found out when I was 18. And then she said, like, hey, this is a big part of your life. Would you like to smoke with me? And I was like, no. We ended up smoking a bunch of years later when I had moved out of my house. So, yeah, I've smoked weed with my mom, and it's all good. I have
according to you, I think it's super unhealthy. Yeah.
Says the guy, like, literally sucking on Marlboros, one after the other.
Yeah, exactly.
You like, moron.
Dude, there's a huge difference.
Smoke like
there's a huge difference between weed.
Yeah, that's
and
worse.
Nicotine. No.
That's
You're
worse.
smoking like a convict that just got out of jail, bud.
Right.
Yeah.
What does nicotine do to your brain? Nothing. What does marijuana do? It turns it into mush. It turns it into mush.
Yeah,
it's a way of avoiding.
All
right, let me. This is just fine. This is fine.
You know,
this is fine.
I gotta tell you that I got to thank you for your quip of the $10 because Jack Federer for $9.99. Ben, the Vatican's exact gold holdings are not publicly disclosed, but estimates place its reserves between 4 and 6 billion. United States dollars, the gold only, not paintings, manuscripts, or real estate.
Okay, but you're saying that's a lot of money. Do you know what the gold reserves of the United States are? Do you know what the gold reserves of European countries are? It's a country. It's a country. It has vast holdings. It needs to have. It needs to have resources.
You can tell me that you're helping the poor while you're hoarding gold. And also, I do remember Jesus saying that you should give away all your material possessions and help the poor.
That's right.
make
Right, but
that
I've
make
already
sense.
quoted you the church. I can't believe you don't understand this. The Catholic Church openly, scandalously to losers like you will spend vast sums of resources, money, talent to build beautiful churches and to maintain them beautifully.
Who cares?
Is that a scandal? Is it
Who
a scandal?
cares? Who cares? The Muslims
What do you mean, who
built
cares?
the Burj. The Muslims built the Burj Khalifa because what you're doing is you're
No,
puffing your
the
chest
Burj
about how we
Khalifa
help
is not
the poor,
a religious
and
building,
now,
idiot.
And now you're telling me that
The Burj Khalifa.
we build.
You're such a
churches.
moron. The Burj Khalifa is, yes, it's Muslims who erected it. It is not in any way, shape, or form a Muslim mosque.
No, I didn't say it was a mosque.
It's apples and oranges.
I just said it's a beautiful building.
It's not. It's ugly.
So what's
Only a moron like you would think it's beautiful.
Oh my
Why?
fucking
Okay,
God. You're
dude, Ben,
deluded.
The
why is
Burj
it ugly?
Khalifa?
Why is it ugly?
It's like,
Why
it's
is
like
it
the
ugly?
pathetic attempt of a
Wow.
loser culture to build a bigger building than the white people, the superior culture build. It's
And
pathetic.
they're winning so
Dude.
far. They're
Yeah,
winning.
if
What about the religious
that's what you
ones?
think. If you build buildings to show you've got a
What about
bigger dick than the
religion?
white man, then you're a joke. You're a clown. That's not why Europeans build buildings to prove that they can build them tall.
What about Christianity?
The Burj Khalifa
Christianity
was
has done
specifically
exactly
designed.
that, dude.
It's useless. The whole top third of it is totally useless because they just wanted to be able to say we have a taller building than your building. Enjoy it, Muslim losers. There's these fucking camel jockeys are so pathetic.
What?
Dubai?
Dude,
Oh.
are you
We love
racist?
the casual racism.
You are blatantly just calling yourself a
Love that.
racist.
Hey, Max, can I make a
Calling
point?
yourself a racist.
Yes.
So I'm not staying. I came in for a specific point. You know, Ben, the reason I sent that first super chat was to make the case that you're not really debating, you're just trying to win arguments. And I'll tell you exactly why I say that. When you were confronted, or at least brought up the fact that the Vatican has extreme amount of holdings, but hey, they're in buildings and manuscripts and artifacts and yada yada. I simply sent that to show that you're wrong. They have between 4 and 6 billion in liquid cash, and then instead of you admitting that okay, you were wrong, you immediately just sidestepped and compared it to another country as well.
No. The vast
That's exactly
majority,
what you did.
The vast majority of the Vatican's assets.
If you don't think $6
are
billion
in
is a
what you
lot
would
of
call
liquid
real
cash,
estate, it is
then
not.
you're in
for a-
denial.
It is not. It is not.
Compared to a large country, you're correct, but compared
For
to
a country, it is not.
all right,
They
stay
have
in denial, my friend. I'm out.
They have okay.
Thanks,
So
Jack.
you run a country. You're telling me
Thanks, Jack.
that the Vatican has reserve. You know what those reserves might be used to do? Let's say to clean the Sistine Chapel, which is going to be an extremely expensive project. No.
Yeah, it requires $6
Oh,
billion.
help
Got it.
Move
Ben,
pedophile.
you
please.
denied that
think
you
maintaining-
denied that the
Okay,
assets were
everyone,
in
hold
liquid
on.
form,
Ancient
and you were
buildings.
He's
wrong.
not serious. He can't
Hold
be
on.
serious.
We have this person is trying to speak, but Brandon, I need you to take the potato out of your mouth to speak, please. Brandon, can you hear me? I'm giving you
okay.
the. What do you want to say? Because you're just butting
Yeah, I
in
can
while
hear you.
other people are speaking. What do you want? What can we help you with, Brandon?
Everybody's doing that to everybody else too. So
Okay,
okay,
Max.
sorry.
If I'm running, like I live in you and I both live. We live in a diocese, right? Like so, all the parishes form a diocese that's run by a bishop, right? You're familiar with that.
Mhm.
Are you saying that the bishop shouldn't have some money in reserve, some resources in reserve to address issues that occur in, I think in my state, there's like 159 parishes and there's churches, the cemeteries, etc. I don't have a problem. If you want to say, I think the bishop should have no money in the bank and just wing it. Okay, I guess so. I don't think it's unusual that if you have vast holdings that you would have some money in reserve. $4 to $6 billion is not a lot for a state.
$4 to $6 billion is a lot, and the problem is
No.
Number one, the Vatican is hoarding the money. It's not helping the poor. Number two, Jesus himself said that you shouldn't be amassing wealth. Get rid of all your material possessions.
He didn't say that
Yeah.
about the church. He said that about individuals. But the church has always had
Oh.
vast possessions, of course. From when the Roman Empire first, it's going to be a problem. You can say, I don't think there should be churches. I think that the church should just be like people with sandals running around barefoot. That's fine. You can make that argument, but that has not been the Catholic way of doing things. We have institutions, we have cemeteries, we have universities. But let me tell you something. You want to talk about
Yeah, university that people
in the
have
state,
to pay for.
In the state I live in, okay, is a university, Brown University. It has something like $27 billion in cash reserves. It's one institution, okay? It's not a state. Harvard has like 10 times that much. And
Is Harvard
institutions
accredited?
need to have finances in reserves.
Yeah, but the problem is that Harvard doesn't go around saying that you people should get rid of all of your money. But before you get rid of all of your money, you need to give me 10%, and I will hoard it here.
Well, why
just
does
for safekeeping?
Yeah. Tithing.
Yes, Harvard claims to be a non-profit. It claims to be a non-profit. Okay. But their professors get paid well. The people administering get paid well. They have beautiful buildings that are maintained. I don't have a problem with Harvard or any institution.
Yeah, but
like
that's
the idea,
Harvard.
let's say I'm not, but let's say you look at me as a Catholic. I'm not a priest or anything. What if I was a billionaire? Is there a problem with that?
No.
Yeah, you would be a fucking hypocrite.
Why?
Yeah, if you're saying what you're
Because
saying, you'd be a
Jesus
fucking
said the
hypocrite.
exact opposite.
Jesus said what? He said to one rich man, he said, "What can I do to be saved?" He said, "Sell all your things." Are you saying that no Catholics can be wealthy? That's never been the church's teaching.
Well, I mean, then it's because you people are liars and you don't read the Bible.
Okay, so that's fine. But I'm saying Catholics will say that wealthy Catholics have gifts that they're given wealth that they should use for the common good. So wealthy Catholics have been selfish, but they've also founded universities, founded monasteries,
universities which you have to pay
founded hospitals. Okay, and the church has no problem with that.
Right. So,
so you're saying every Christian has to be dirt poor. So if I, as I do, have 6 kids and I want to provide for them and I put college funds for them, I'm a hypocrite. Is that right?
No,
Yes, it is right.
I am
It is
saying
right.
that the antithesis.
That's what you said.
I am clarifying to you because you apparently
That's
are
not
very
what he
slow or you're very sleepy because it's past your bedtime.
Well, okay, Max. Let's say my
So
daughter was going to
what
get married.
I will correct you. What I said was that the hoarding of wealth is what's wrong with the Vatican. The Vatican could literally
Vatican does not
grab
hoard
at
wealth.
least a percentage of what they're hoarding right now and use it to
What?
basically apply it to world hunger.
The fact
But
hoard
let me
World
reply to this.
hungry.
And they
World
could also
hunger.
defer maintenance on St. Peter's Basilica.
Ooh, look, the foreigner made a pronunciation mistake, which he corrected immediately.
Oh,
look
don't
at
be
him.
such a crybaby, Max.
Yo hablo español, pelotuda concha seca.
Yo
¿Me querés
hablaba
venir a
español.
hablar?
Chinga tu madre.
Mira, vos pelotudo pito chico.
Cállate la
Now,
boca.
listen, let me
Cállate
ask
la
you a question.
boca.
If I
Hey,
claim
Ben,
to be
you're a banchode.
if I claim to
Terry
be
Makichu, Terry Abora Makabut, Orkia Bakrichu Arajen.
if I claim to be a Catholic and my daughter, my lovely daughter here wants to get married and I spend $50,000 on a beautiful wedding for her and her groom and our families as they come together, is that bad?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
Super-
you have a
like-
different
like-
understanding of Christianity than I do.
Well, I mean, you're going against the teachings of Jesus. Like,
No, I'm
it's
not.
Okay, is it okay? Do I have a more a problem with you throwing like something nice? Like, but no, if you're throwing like a lavish party, like you don't really need to spend 50,000. I don't
in
know
the US,
how that.
What if I
Okay.
want to? What
Let's say-
if
The
I
problem
made
is
the
how do you
money fairly?
determine? How do you
Why can't
determine what's
I-
lavish and what's not?
Why
right?
can't I spend money on my daughter and our 2 families coming together to celebrate my daughter and her future husband's wedding. Jesus went to the wedding at Cana. He didn't say, hey, why are you spending so much money on everything? What he did is turn the water into wine to make it even more of a party. And I've already given you the illustration. You want to talk about the Bible?
You're just saving money.
Jesus allowed a woman, I think it was Mary Magdalene, to put very expensive incense on his feet and to bathe his feet in very expensive incense. And Judas, like you, criticized that. And what was our Lord's response? Do you know, since you read the Bible so many times, do you know what he said to her?
No, I don't remember it from
Do you know what he
memory.
said to
Go
Judas?
ahead,
Okay,
tell
that's
me.
fine. I don't believe everyone. He said, the poor we will always have with us, but
Dumbo,
you have me.
I'm reading I'm rereading the Bible now, you stupid.
Yeah, pay attention to it. Pay attention to it.
Yeah, why? I've read it.
It's an
before.
invitation
It's a
for you
myth.
to avoid the hell you're in.
It's a myth. The hell is not real, dumbass.
Max,
and
Max,
my life
Chris,
is
Max.
really good.
It's real. I'm looking right into it. It's that depressing
Unlike the
fucking
book,
basement.
Satan has power over God.
Christians.
Brandon, no. Oh, sorry. This is not a basement. This is like the living room. Like, this is my office.
Okay, so
That's
but what
a green
if you made
screen
a lot
behind
of money,
him,
Max?
Dad.
What if by
It's a green
some
screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a green screen because
It's
the camera
probably
looks
worse.
the camera looks this way and the photo is taken that way.
So this is your fantasy of what your basement would look like. So I can only imagine if we weren't green screening it, how bad it looks.
So like basically what's on the green screen is where he's sitting.
You see this painting? The one that's there? You fucker. Yeah, I have thousands of dollars of here. Do you know that, like, that is a vinyl deck? This is a console. This is like a mixer. I have more vinyl decks there. Would you like
Yo,
to
we
see
lit.
Why
would you like to
why
see
don't you
my
why
vinyl
don't you
case?
sell them all and give it to the poor?
Because he's not a Christian.
That's his whole argument.
So
the Bible says
you
to sell
think
all
that's
of your
unique?
possessions.
So this idea that you should give to the poor is only for Christians, for regular people who are not Christians. So you're an atheist because you want to avoid being generous to those around you. Okay, that makes sense. You're a fucking asshole.
I'm just pointing out that
I'd rather be an asshole like that than be just a filthy fucking liar that's going to the lake of fire, which doesn't exist. But okay, so you just lied. I'm the only reason why I'm an atheist is because I don't believe your fairy tale.
Catholics do not teach that everyone has to give all of their money away to the poor.
I wasn't taking that position either.
Nor
What
has
what
the
I was
church.
trying to tell you is that when you have lavish and you have amassed such wealth that you have $6 billion in bars of gold, then maybe you're a bit of a hypocrite if you say, we do charity to the poor. No, you don't. You just grab some money, some of the money, and then feed up a couple of people while you force them to listen to a mass, and then it's like, oh, your religion is a shit show.
So what is the number one charitable organization for the poor in the world?
No idea.
The Catholic Church.
Did you research this?
I researched it. Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes.
What did?
Yes.
How did you research
The Catholic
this?
Church is by far the most active organization in the world to help the poor, to provide assistance, to educate, to run hospitals, etc. Have you noticed that where the Catholic Church goes, you suddenly find springing up educational institutions, universities, and hospitals everywhere it goes.
Yeah,
in
that's
Africa
that's not all in good
Africa
faith,
now,
by the way.
the Catholic Church is setting up schools.
Part of the reason they're tax free is because of that.
It's called Caritas Internationalis.
Caritas.
It's the number one.
That's just one. That's just
charitable
one. That's just one organization under the umbrella of the church.
Yeah, would
active
you like
in
to
over
check?
200 countries.
Should we check some of the scandals that Caritas has been involved in? Would you like to?
So I don't know what this fallacy is called, but you're saying like what organization? You're saying everyone has to be a perfect saint in every organization. Of course, there's scandals, there's corruption.
Ben. Don't try to guess what my argument is because you're not smart enough. Let me give you my argument. And when you try to relay my argument back to me, just try not to lie. Maybe pray for some
hang on a second.
so that you don't lie about what my position actually is.
Why do you have to mute me? I can listen to you. I
Because you
have
spurred
social
out.
skills.
Because I like to speak uninterrupted.
Wait.
And
I just literally looked up scandals Caritas Internationales. Okay. There's a bunch of like leadership overhauls, there's audits for spending money, but like there's nothing really huge here. What are you talking mismanagement in national branches?
Ben, are you a Catholic?
No, wait, let me just press Max on this a little bit.
Yes, I'm a Catholic.
You seemed to be indicating that there was some kind of scandal that was like
I
really
worked for a Catholic school. There were scandals in the Catholic school. Catholic institutions are like not perfect. Big deal.
My question about you being Catholic,
it's such a weird argument, guys. The whole point of Christianity is that we're all sinners and we all need
you
God's
think
grace.
the idea of being Catholic is that I'm saying that every person who has ever claimed to be Catholic is a perfect person.
No, that's not why I
that's
asked.
ridiculous.
Ben, I asked you specifically. Ben, this is my first time listening to you, and I'm asking
there
you
have
for
been
a
both
reason.
bishops and popes. You want to talk about scandals?
Ben, shut the
Pope
fuck up
Julian. Pope Julian. Monkey,
Ben,
go back
listen,
to the zoo.
why
and
are you
fuck
the only
bear,
one slinging
the
insults
elephant,
at
the
people?
giraffe, and the monkey?
Why are you the only one dropping f-bombs? Why are you picking on Max, a multilingual person,
he doesn't
for
have
his
the Holy
accent?
Spirit.
Why are you the one that's making
You
this
need to
worse?
pray. You need to pray for patience and pray so that you're a better person.
Because like Max doesn't mind. He's not a little baby who can't like banter with another man. And no Christians. The idea that Christians are a bunch of babies who have to like pretend that they're like women who can't use like salty language is ridiculous. What's the question?
Max is clearly not a baby, but that's not banter. You
Yes, it
literally
is.
mocked him
That's
a
what
half
banter
dozen
is.
times. That's not banter, asshole.
Yes,
That's
it is. That's
insulting.
what banter is. That's
in
what
case
men
you want
do.
to see what it
Go
feels
to
like.
a bar. Go to a bar. Go to a bar. That's what men do with other men.
Ben,
It's a
I'm
love
telling you
language.
outright. Okay, why don't you ask Max? Max, was that helpful? Was that playful banter, or did you feel insulted?
Nah, he's trying to offend me. The problem is
He
that he
likes
doesn't have
it.
the
He
mental
likes
capacity.
it. He likes
He
it.
doesn't have the mental capacity.
It's very
to do
convenient,
that.
Christian
Look,
Ben, for you to just
do
pawn
not
it off whenever you
project-
feel it's not offensive. I'm joking.
Do not project.
Well, you can
your
ask
proclivity-
Max if he's going to cry about it. He doesn't care.
Dude,
He
do
enjoys
not
talking
shut
to
the
me.
fuck up and let other people talk.
Do not project.
Monkey, go back to the zoo.
proclivities.
Fuck the bear. Fuck the elephant. Fuck the giraffe. Fuck the
Awesome,
monkey.
Ben.
many
Just
times
like
did
Jesus.
Fuck your mother.
Ben, I don't know if you noticed this, but that's like the third or fourth time that you try that same joke. It failed. It's not
It
funny.
works every
you're
time.
not
It shuts him
funny.
up every time.
You-
Look at him.
you fucked
Hoping.
up.
Yeah, because you don't stop fucking talking.
Now,
I'm trying to be respectful here, you piece of
Look at him
shit.
staring at me like some kind of freak.
what I was trying to tell you, Ben, is that
It's fine,
you do
you're
not
fine.
have the mental capacity to offend me. That's the problem. That's the difference between you and I.
You enjoy banter. That's why you want to debate me. It's fine. You're
no, I
you're a
actually
guy who
enjoy
can
having
handle
a-
it. These other
I
these
actually
other
like having an
weasels over here, they
intellectual
can't handle it.
conversation. If we could dispense with the insults, it would be like 10 times better.
What the
I
fuck
can
are you
handle it.
talking about? You fucking insulted the like two saints in the Catholic Church. Fuck you. I should go
True.
down there. I should fly down there and
You
rip
did.
your fucking head off for doing that.
Oh
You
my
called
God.
Mother Teresa a bitch.
Come at me,
Oh,
bro.
Mother Teresa, a demon. Fuck you.
Yeah.
If that's
Come
not
on.
banter, it's fine.
Fight
I don't
me.
have a problem
So
with it. But fuck
triggered.
you for
So
saying
triggered.
I'm the one who's
Piece of
bantering.
shit.
I'm the
Come
one
on,
who's
let's
going
go.
low and you're
Let's
not.
go.
Who
Hey,
could
Ben, there's
forget that verse in Luke 10 in the Bible where Jesus said, I didn't like what you said. I'm going to take a fucking plane and I'll fuck you up. Lovely.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
He did
Jack
say that to
Barrett
people
said,
like
"We
you.
have a
He
shit
did say
I think
that
if
to people
Jesus
like you.
could send a super chat, he'd say, Ben, you're not with me, bro. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was like, Ben, you're on your own.
That's how
Let
you
me- let
envision
me
it.
finish
Jesus is a
reading
gay
it.
guy with sandals.
But we
Go
needed to
worship that
maintain our
Jesus.
price.
I worship
I
the
mean,
Jesus who is a real
he-
man who put
Where did
people like
gay
Max
come
in the-
from? You fucking homophobic, hateful
No,
douchebag.
But don't get me wrong. Jesus went around like hanging out with like 12 other guys that were all kind of incel and a prostitute, and he never fucked her. That's pretty gay. Let me
Now
finish
the
reading
apostles
Jack's
were
super
incels.
chat.
The
Our
apostles
pr-
were incels.
Our priceless art and substantial real estate, tax-free, by the way.
So now
hold
you're
it.
going to blaspheme.
Nice, just
Go ahead,
like
do it with
Jesus.
Mary too. Do some blasphemy. I look forward to looking down from heaven on your fucking burning fucking carcass, burning for.
Just like Jesus said.
So angry.
Muted
Why
at the
is he
perfect
so
moment.
He
mad?
And the
warned
funny
people
thing-
like this of the dangers of
And
hell.
the funny thing
Bro,
is,
there's no emotion
so-
whatsoever in your remarks, by the way.
hold on, because are we blaspheming? Do I have to blaspheme Mary? Yes, Mary was a fucking whore who fucked the soldier Pantera,
Okay,
got pregnant,
I'm not doing
lied
this.
lied
I'm not doing
to
this,
Joseph
dude.
and everyone.
May you all
I'm not-
burn in hell, you fucking.
I'm not
faggot.
doing the blasphemy.
Grace, are you offended by Max but Ben? How
There
ironic.
he goes again. That's a double rage quit. Double rage quit.
Yeah,
The
I'm
power
100
of Christ compels me.
I'm 100% with
yeah.
Kat, by the way. though. She was right.
They
They're just show. They're just show
hold
people.
on. They asked me to blaspheme Mary, did they not?
Yeah, of course.
Like he asked me. So if you ask me to do something, I'll do it. And that story, I didn't just invent it. That is what the Talmud says about Mary the fucking whore. She fucked a soldier named Pantera, got pregnant, and then lied to everyone. And that's what the Jews think about Mary and Jesus.
I mean,
Yeah, you can't convince me that either of them are actually offended at all. They're just
that was so
show
much
people.
fun. Who will? I need the clip. That is just.
I'll chop it up. I'll download it after.
Icy's got it. He always does.
Did I
The
miss an
one
11th
thing-
commandment that says, with reference to the above 10, they're all null and void if somebody mocks you, and then you can fuck them up? And I mean, that guy is more offensive than anybody in this whole panel. And he's the Christian.
Yeah, he just does it for the
Rice
lulz. That's all he does.
said, it's just banter. I mean, they're very snowflakey. They can dish it, but they cannot take it. And they like to be racist and misogynist and this and that. But just say Mary is a whore and they tear their clothes up like, no!
I don't think he
I feel
actually
like
believes his own
nobody's.
position.
Yeah, I feel like nobody here is getting into heaven. Sorry.
You know
No,
what?
but-
I don't. think
I mean,
I'm
you're
getting
all
to heaven
atheists.
because
You're
it
all
doesn't
atheists
Well,
anyway.
since it doesn't
so-
exist,
Not
it's
his
not a
heaven.
problem for me.
And
Yeah,
then
that's fine.
even let's say worst case scenario, there is a hell and we're all going to it. We're gonna throw a party for eternity. I'll be DJing. It's going to be there's going to be orgies. It's going to be epic. So
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna learn how to
Max
play
is
guitar.
gonna be Ben is
and
gonna
I'm
be there.
doing fucking
Sorry.
bomb.
oh my god,
metal
Ben is
jams.
coming with us. Yes.
If heaven is
Oh,
filled
yeah.
with people like Ben,
That's
I'll
the
take the fucking
definition.
express to hell.
I'm pretty sure the definition of hell, right? The Jean-Paul Sartre's book is hell is other people. That's
Yeah.
the last line of the book.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. That is true.
That's-
And if you want me to be perfectly honest, the conception of heaven, I cannot think a conception of heaven that is absolutely boring and like soul draining. And I would rather take eternal torture than some of the conceptions of heaven that I've heard from people. It just sounds dreadfully boring.
Yeah, it
Like
kinda sounds
eternal
like-
worship.
It's like,
But
yeah,
maybe
it's like
boring
you're going to
is
be
good.
in church all day.
The
I don't
music
want to
and
be
drugs
in
are
church all
better.
day.
Well,
maybe it's
according
your
to,
variation of church. It's like like if church was like a great thing for you, then you'll be in church. But if it's like
Well,
something
according
you
to
hate,
Kat
then
Kerr, by the way, sorry, Kat, she has your same name, but she believes that everyone gets a mansion and they
Mhm.
get to ride on the backs of like unicorns, and she talks to God regularly and she visits heaven. So, and heaven is just like, it's like, I don't know, 1,000 Earths. So it is a sphere. She believes
yeah.
heaven's a sphere.
Who is this?
and Kat Kerr. You should look her
Okay.
up. She just got pink hair. You can't miss her.
Oh.
Oh, I did a review of that crazy wacko lady one time. Yes,
She is
I
something
remember
else.
her. Max said,
I'll
"Hell
set
yeah,
the
this
name.
is still going." Max, just scroll back 5 minutes, and you will get such a treat. And then click back to the live because it was amazing. Kat, I'm so sorry that we got sidetracked. I was just having too much fun.
It's okay.
So
I was like, yeah, religion is not my
oh, I love
bucket.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I try not to do religion stuff, but like at the same time, it kind of it gets to me. I guess
That's a little more than par for the course, but you always get a variation of like bigotry and like the holier than thou and stuff from
well,
any
yeah, because
interaction.
they are archaic worldviews. All right, so it's pretty late. I've been wanting to go to the toilet for like so long, but I wasn't going to leave that asshole here alone in my house. So we'll go around, do some final thoughts. Kat, I will get in touch with you. We can do like a little bit of an interview. I want to talk more with you and get to know you like a little bit better outside of the context of you know the debate. So I'll get in touch with you and we can prepare an interview. I'm going to give you the first turn. We're doing final thoughts. And if you want to promote anything, just let me know and I'll share it to the peeps. If you have something coming up, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can't believe I stayed here for all of this, but like, and all of this madness. But you know, like I like hearing from all sorts of people. That does include Ben. It includes all you guys too. Which you know, I just find it interesting. So I want to have more of these. Like, you know, I want to be exposed to a lot of different types of people and ideas. And I mean, maybe a little not as jerky like a little, you know, more polite perhaps, but it is what it is. And yeah, it was fun. And I did not expect this to be how my day turns out. And yeah, if people I am Mysterious Cat on Twitter. Thank you.
There we go. Do you want to also share your YouTube channel over private so I share it to them?
Oh yeah, I'll find the link. Yeah, well, maybe while other people are saying their stuff.
You got it. I don't know if you caught it. Whenever I yelled very loudly one time and I woke Isa up because Isa is sleeping right now. And I woke Isa up. He woke up with like all his messy bed hair. And he was like, what the fuck is happening? Why is Max yelling? And then went back to bed. So, Icy Spin, final thoughts.
Yeah, this turned into something. It started as something, and we had a little intermission. We got to go out, have a little break in the galley, and then we came back. And the second half of the performance didn't disappoint, and I nearly dozed off. But then the orchestra started playing, and we finally arrived at the last stop on the train. So. I enjoyed it.
I think performance is so right. I mean, I think that's all. I think that's what it is. I think he
what it
has
was.
fun. I think he has fun with it. I don't know about the daughter, but whatever.
Yeah, you can't convince me he actually believes like what he's saying half the time because he just wanted to just jump down Monkey's throat, do a little half smile, check the panel to see if he got any smiles or like laughs or anything, and
failed
then just
every time.
Right. It was just watch, rinse, repeat. So, but whatever, it was fun.
Monkey, I'll give it to you in just a second. Alpha Eagle, yes. Max, how can you take the moral high ground when you take pride in your hedonism? Because hedonism, when it's between consenting adults, it's not immoral. I don't think lust is a problem. I don't think being sex positive and enjoying your sexuality makes you immoral. The only thing that makes you immoral is if you have immoral sex, which would be sex with underage people or sex with non-consenting people. Other than that, you can be an extremely moral person and also, like me, and also be a little bit of a degenerate, which is what people actually like. At least down here, you being a good person, but a little bit of a freak in the sheets. It's kind of where it's at. So, yes, I do. I can take the moral high ground, especially with people like Ben, where he has to lie. Every time he reported my argument back, he just flat out lied. So
it's an art.
But it's a good question, though. And I understand that some people do not understand how our side of morality and that kind of a thing can work. And it's fine. I don't have a problem with those things being questioned. Like, for example, Kat and I were having a discussion about communism and so on, and she clearly disagrees with what I was saying, but it was a very respectful and thoughtful exchange, right? Because I can do that. If you want to throw down, then I can also throw down, and you will lose. I destroy people who try to insult me every time.
I think it's conversations like. Well, sorry. I think it's like conversations like you and Kat having a back and forth. You have disagreements here and there about certain things, but I think overall, if you look at it on the whole, you get somewhere with it, right? Like it'll make you who you are 10 years from now to some degree.
Mhm.
So those are productive.
There's there was a point Max made that I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting point and like something for me to reflect. So I'm like not just like trying to disagree with him. Like I am listening to what he's saying and hopefully is also, but like it's just yeah, you're trying to like I think the best conversations like when you maybe have different perspectives, but you're trying to get somewhere. Like you're trying to challenge even your own view because you're like, well, I don't have any like sense of certainty of like I know 100% that I'm correct, right? I am like I'm trying to figure things out and if I walk into a conversation with that thought in mind like hey, I'm just trying to figure things out and I'm open to the fact that somebody else had a thought maybe that I haven't considered. Like I think that is so much more interesting and more beneficial from a conversation. I don't really like debates for that reason in a way because it is more set up where it's like combative, whereas like nuance is kind of like where it's really at, but people don't want to concede and it's like it's a fight, it's a and I get it and it's more fun for people to watch perhaps, but it's not as useful, I think.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, Monkey. There. Sorry. Final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. This is not a debate that I usually watch. To be honest, I only tuned in because I want to support my buddy Max here, and I want to just see what's going on. And oh my god, it did not disappoint. I was surprised at just the amount of just I don't know how to say it, but the hatred of women that Ben has. Like it's just it blew my mind. And the one thing that I wanted to bring up Ben that he never got a chance to. He was trying to talk shit about. He was trying to say about. Me. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. But he was trying to talk about like Mother Teresa and stuff like this. And I wanted to ask him, in order to be a saint, you have to have at least 2 verified miracles. What the hell were her miracles? So I looked into it.
They changed they bent the rules a little bit to canonize Mother Teresa as a saint. Because that's what they are. They're fucking liars.
Exactly. And I wanted to just go at him with that, but it's fine. You guys had a good time, and we all had a good time.
To go back to the zoo.
I do apologize that I saw you trying to interject there, but I was just having so much fun. And it's happened to me before, like with Ice Spin, we were on the Discord and I took over and I'm trying to work on that. And the problem is that when I'm in the heat of the situation, I just like James told me today, like, yeah, you were interrupting your own partner. He said, yeah, I need to work on that. Sometimes it happens to me. But it
happens to all of us, though. Like even right now, I chose to interrupt you, and like I probably should have held off. But like we all do it in good, we get a little.
I'm very commanding of the conversation in general. It's very hard that someone else that I would let someone else command the conversation for me, and I know that I should improve, but it's hard. It's hard as fuck.
Dude, it's okay, Mac. But another thing that I did is I put this background down here because it has a rainbow on it. And I just had a feeling that would trigger him for some reason.
Yeah.
Cafe said, unless you have a channel to raid, I haven't been like paying attention to who is even live. It's like 5 a.m. for me and I am absolutely beat. So I have no one to raid.
He sees a
Alpha
tweet.
Eagle,
Oh, there
if
it is.
morality, because your morality is also subjective. You just lie about it. Alpha Eagle, if you want to have a chat, like an actual chat about morality, and if you want to do a reverse interview, you want to interrogate me about how my morality works, then you can. The email is on the if you go to Yerba Mate Talks, and then you can find the email right there, or you can message me on Discord. It's mxxxd.uy, and we can do that sort of reverse interview. Someone, Arcade Pilot says in Spanish, que locura esos, meaning they were freaking crazy. I agree. And Sponge, LOL, this guy, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm guessing Ben. Tomorrow we have a conversation between a mini debate between Dr. J and Red Rhetoric, and the topic will be should billionaires be allowed to exist, in the sense of should people be allowed to hoard that much money? Before we do that, make sure to, before we go, make sure to, the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. Thank you everyone on the panel. Thank you everyone in the audience. It was so much fun, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a great night.
Later, guys.
See ya.